Welcome into the Cam Strick Podcast, episode number 164.
Yeah, baby.
Presented by Hair Club.
Hair Club for men and women.
And children, really. I mean, you think about...
Andy, what are you talking about?
Well, it's for everybody.
No, it's not.
It can be for anybody. Grandmothers.
No, you said children, and I had to stop you.
Okay.
Because, like, if you're a child and you're losing your hair, which sometimes that happens, like... You got to suck that up as a child. Mm-hmm. When you get a little bit older, maybe you could deal with it, but you don't do it as a child.
No, okay, I can see what
you got to
just
be a fucking.
But
you got to figure it out. Like we all have deformities, Andy. You know, you with many things, me with a couple things here and there.
I don't really have a whole lot of deformities going on right now.
Well, right now you did, but when you're growing up, I'm sure. Like I wish I could change this. Mm-hmm. Well, you don't do it when you're young.
Yeah, that's very true.
You don't do it.
No, I know. Maybe we should just edit that out and just take it out.
No. Keep it in there.
But some people,
I don't want psycho people. Like
some people, they may not even be losing their hair, and then they may just want to go in there and see what they can do to kind of thicken it up.
Thicken that mug up.
It's like, hey, I want to have some flow on top of my hair.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If I had thick ass hair, I'd be breaking it down every fucking day.
You think you'd be like more successful, making more money?
Yes, everything. And I don't know, maybe. But I would look in the mirror every day, and I'm like, there's one hair missing, and I'd count them. I'd probably count them every day. I'd be like, God, you're so just thick and luscious and beautiful. And I use conditioner and I use everything. And I take
everybody does that.
And I know, but I'm counting them and stuff like that. If I had one missing, I'm like, oh snap! I need something else. There's something going on here.
Yeah.
I need a shampoo or whatever.
Mm-hmm. How was your weekend?
I gotta tell you something.
Ooh,
I'm just not. My buddy had a party who I'm best friends with, and we're at his house. Jason, right down the road. It's a big house, 4 acres, middle of the woods. You can do what you want there. And Kate and I don't go places that much anymore.
Yeah, you don't go anywhere.
I don't go many places unless it's an event where it's like an event I go to. If I give a speech, I know how to act there. When I go to my comfortable buddy's house, I get. All of us growing up together, like I'm in a comfy zone, man. Like we got things hanging out, like we'll do whatever. But this particular situation,
what kind of things are hanging out? Well,
just like nothing. There's a bong over there.
Really? Was it like a high school party?
No. Well, yeah. Well, no. Well, yeah. We all went to high school, but he's got a big house. He's got a garage attached. We're all playing beer pong out there. And stuff
my god! It is a high school party.
He's got it's just a cool house, man, and everybody's cool. But then I'm like, I'm not used to being around people I don't know in an intimate environment. And he has all his kids, soccer parents.
Yeah, the other parents that are there.
I don't know them.
That's okay.
Yeah, but then I'm like, and I'm like, and I got this. I'm like, who are these people?
Like, who's the hired entertainment? The clown.
Like, who's this clown dick walking around? And I'm like, oh my God, who are these people? And I just kind of got uncomfortable a little bit because I'm like used to being over there and doing whatever the fuck you want. Like that's my buddy. I drive by there every time I go home, Andy, and I'm like, I'm at my buddy's house. That's Jason. I go there. We get on this side by side. We cruise around the hillside.
Can I just help you out with something?
But there's parents there I didn't know, and they're staring at me. And, we're fucking doing our
Don't
thing.
be the weird guy.
I'm not being weird.
You gotta be classy.
And then I ask,
you gotta be classy.
Classy? This is not a classy environment. We're all wearing like jeans. Like it's not what you think. We're still out in the middle of nowhere. The house is expensive, but it's still country type, right? We're not in your little Pussyville fucking Clayton bullshit fucking fancy lads.
We got bartenders at our parties.
You guys are tiptoeing around like fucking fancy lads back in the 1700s in France.
We got bartenders, people walking around with
that's
like plates
why
of
French had the uprising. Because of fancy lads like you thinking you're too cool for school. Okay. We don't do that shit.
Are you going to continue with the story? This is a long story.
My point is, I think I embarrassed myself a little bit. And I'm like, fuck, I was too comfortable in an environment where there's people I didn't know, and I didn't like it. In the morning, I asked Kate, I go, evaluate me. And usually, sometimes she gives me a B+ when we do these.
What'd she give you?
She goes, I don't know what to say about it. I'm like,
oh no, what'd you do wrong?
I don't know. That's the thing. I'm like, I'm in my element. We're like, you got things going on. The Blues are playing. I'm like fucking walking around. I'm like making fun of his wife because she's, just like loud and obnoxious.
Where like the PTO parents are standing over there being like,
what is going on here?
Who is this psychopath?
What is going on here?
Do we need to call the police?
Oh my God. And Kate's looking at me like, oh God. And I'm just like, I'm just in my environment. Like my buddies are there from high school. Like, we're like, fucking, like, what kind of gun, like we're just doing our shit. Yeah. And I just know there's the other people are just looking at me and they're evaluating every move I make. And I'm just not used to that. I don't hang out with people I don't know and get comfortable. I think I did a couple things where I'm like, motherfucker. Yeah. I don't know these people.
Okay, so Friday night, I took the family to Grant's Farm.
You're a fuck.
Hold on. We wanted to go see, they have like a new Christmas lights display.
You son of a bitch.
Right when we pull in.
You son of a bitch.
Right when we pull in, the alarms go off on the phones.
I told you.
Hold on. The alarm's going off on the phones. And apparently like a tornado was coming our way. And we're stuck, man. We've got like hundreds of cars in front of us, hundreds of cars behind us. And Cam's like calling me like, you got to get out of there. You got to get out of there. We couldn't go anywhere. We're like stuck. Finally, they called it off, and like they got us out, but it took a little while, man. It was probably a good 35, 40 minutes.
And that pissed me off.
And we got home, and everything was fine, but like, listen, I got to give well, where we were, luckily. But I want to give a shout-out to those who weren't so lucky.
Andy.
Who may have known some people that were injured, who maybe had lost some property, suffered property damage. All y'all, we're thinking about all those people right now. That's all I want to say.
No. You fucking hypocrite, though.
Yeah.
No. There's no tornadoes in St. Louis. There's no
not where I live. There's not.
Andy, stop it.
I didn't have.
Stop it and stop it
I don't
now.
think it got to where I live.
Dude, it's right next door to you.
Well, it was down the road. I mean, like it was several miles.
Andy.
That's the closest it's ever come. Closest it's ever come.
Like you're like, how can you not know? I talked about that on my radio show in the morning. I talked about it all damn day. I tweet some out before anybody else did. I go, dude, keep your head up, St. Louis.
Oh,
it's
you
coming.
knew it was coming?
It's coming, dude. I'm watching it all day.
What do you like? Watch the weather
because
channel
I know how it goes.
How do you know?
Dude,
you should have been like a meteorologist.
No, I'm obsessed with weather, dude. I'm obsessed with tornadoes.
Nothing wrong with
They're
that.
the real life monster. I told you that, Andy. And I'm like Ty and Ivy, and like she's at her birthday and stuff like that. And Chloe's like, they don't know. They're not supposed to look shit up. Their fucking parents are supposed to look at. You put them in a bad spot.
Well, there was thousands of people.
But they're all dumb too.
Yeah, well, it wasn't just us.
Well, you're dumb.
And I got them.
It's probably your neighbors.
I got them in a good spot, and we took everybody home and whatever.
You got lucky it didn't hit you.
My kids were scared though because I put the radio on, like and they're like, take cover now.
Well,
and I'm like, oh my god,
70 mile an hour.
I start
headwinds.
getting a little bit nervous. Luckily, I'm in the Volvo. We're very safe. We got the third row. I'm just like, stop, drop, and roll, and do everything you got to do right now.
That's when you're on fire.
Well, tornado, it can kind of come into play as well. So again,
it
was getting closer and closer. It was probably the most scared I've ever been.
Andy,
in terms of a tornado, because it kind of was like somewhere close.
Let me explain all.
But it went north and it went away very, very quickly.
Yeah, but it killed 6 people in Illinois right down the road.
I'm telling you, man, at the Amazon.
And here's another thing that happened. And I tell guys, and I tweet this out too.
Amazon warehouse, the roof came off.
Yeah, they didn't fucking go downstairs, guys. And I tell you, GM on that bad boy, they're getting sued out the mother.
Who didn't go downstairs?
Dude, they didn't do shit. They're fucking right there.
Who, the employees?
Yes, I think. Like Amazon's got a bad reputation anyway. Let's be honest.
What's their reputation?
Bezos doesn't have a bad.
I don't know. I got Amazon Prime. I save money when I go to Whole Foods.
No, it's convenient as fuck, but they treat their employees like shit, Andy. Maybe you should do a little bit more research. It's
I know somebody who works for Amazon in Seattle. He's got a great job. He loves working there.
Well, is he a CEO?
He might be.
Yeah, exactly. He's not grinding it. He might
be grinding it.
Come on, I don't know. I'm just telling you, they got a bad. If you look it up,
like in China and stuff like that.
They just have a bad rep with things, and they got rocked, and 6 people died, and there's a Marine that died. Not a Marine.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if it's Marine or Army.
Local.
Yeah, they're right there. Dude, it was right across the river.
Because St. Charles, for people who don't know, that's probably like a good 20 miles from where I live.
It's not that far away. It's not that far away. So the point is, these nighttime tornadoes come, Andy. Mm-hmm. And there was one that happened that killed 100 people.
Was it rain wrapped?
It fucking right. It was an EF45. It tracked for 250. That's enhanced Vegeta scale.
Don't start throwing these numbers out there right now. Don't start doing that. This is a serious story.
Your son will know what this means. It's called the enhanced Vegeta scale. Some Japanese cat back in the day, and it's about the damage it does when it rocks things. And this was an EF4. EF5 is the most horrific thing in the world, meaning if an EF5 hit us right now in this little fuck building, it would rip up the concrete and spin it around something and weld it to fucking.
Well, when's the
next one? It's the most horrific. No. I'm not done telling this.
When's the next one coming? Do you know?
It could happen in February. February comes and rocks because of the warm and cold weather. That's what happened. Yeah. A cold front came in. So this particular storm, it happened in 1925, where it's called a tri-state tornado. It killed 600 people in 1925 and went through Missouri, Indiana, or Illinois, and then Indiana. It killed 600 people, including like hundreds of farmers. You know what that means when you get killed by if you're a farmer?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, it means like people aren't going to have food. And
No.
like that.
No,
the
it
crops
means
are being
no, Andy. It means a farmer is so weather savvy they would always be able to go down
the Farmer's
and
Almanac and
that's
whatever,
how hard
weather radios.
That's
all
how
that type of stuff,
hardcore
yeah.
that was in 1925 when everything was so scarce in Illinois and it still killed 600 people. This thing tracked
What
for
year was that? 1925?
25, 29 in the 20s.
You said 24, 25.
It doesn't
29,
matter.
like,
But the point is, this particular one the other day went 250 miles and it killed 100 people. Rock, Kentucky.
Well, we're
Damn,
thinking
dude.
about everybody. Kentucky
We love
got
all
rocked.
y'all.
I know,
We
man.
love you
I know,
guys.
I know.
We're Midwest boys, and we love you. I understand the weather system. I
Yeah.
tried to save Andy and his family. I think I did.
Okay.
I will treat things out. I love all you guys. Tornadoes are the real life devil. They're fucking a monster. They're like Jerry Sandusky-esque. They are. They're Jerry Sandusky. They're fucking a monster.
Why you have to bring him?
Well,
into
because
the
he's a
equation?
monster too.
You
well,
bring
he's
him
a.
up
I
way
think
too
of,
often.
when I think of monsters, I think of Jerry Sandusky, and I think of fucking tornadoes.
You're gonna get fined every time you bring that up. Yeah,
I'm just saying.
taking money out of your
I'm
check.
just saying.
Okay, how much? What's the most you'll pay for a bottle of wine?
Oh, motherfucker. Dude, I'll drink wine, homie.
What's the most you'll pay for a bottle?
Motherfucker.
Couple $100?
Yeah.
Okay.
I usually get it for free, but I'll pay some kind.
Yeah.
Because it makes you drunk. The drunk is so much better.
Really?
You're horny. Yes. You're lively. It's a better drunk
Well,
if you.
yeah,
I'm just
okay.
not meaning like
listen,
if you
I
and
drink
your
that bottle of Camus, dude. I know what's up.
Oh, do you get a boner and you're like, get on here, girl?
So,
What's up?
I went and met up with some friends. A couple of friends were in town, whatever. We have some mutual friends. Who they are so into beer, dude. Like so into beer.
What's that mean?
They will. They'll buy like they'll spend $500 on a beer, dude. $150 on a beer.
Andy,
Hold on, listen. There are like special beers that are brewed that you can't buy at like the grocery store or whatever. Okay, and there's like these breweries here in town. These little small
Like a
breweries.
keg, they'll pay.
Not a keg. It's like the size of like a wine bottle. It's 750 milliliters, and they'll have these like releases where the lines are out the door for like hundreds of people just to get this beer, and it may cost like $100, $150, and then on the market, then you turn around and like they have these beer clubs that exist like on the internet, and people will turn around, they'll pay $2,000 for a beer, dude. I mean,
a beer?
Oh my god!
16 ounce, 12
No,
ounce.
like 750 milliliters, like the same size as like a wine bottle, for example.
Oh, okay. Yeah, is it the same like kind of
So
like
there's like
liquor in there?
specialty beer. It's just the way
that makes sense,
It's the way it's brewed.
Yeah, it's like a whiskey
and
or
so,
wine. Yeah.
So I met, and my buddy,
Your
who's
fucking
in town,
buddies are fancy lad fucking
dude,
nerds.
So
man.
he's
Fuck this shit.
so he's buying like $150 beers. And I will say this, man, it is different drinking these beers. Like I'm not a big beer drinker, you know
Did
that.
you get a better drunk? Is that what you're
yeah,
saying?
it
That's
was-
what I mean.
It was
Yeah.
amazing. It's
I get
like
what you're saying.
You can taste every flavor.
God, you hang
inside
out
of
with
it.
fancy people, though, don't
Dude,
you?
it was incredible.
Where are your normal
They're
friends
not
at?
really fancy, but that's
$500
like,
for a beer. Get on with yourself.
But they're just into it. Like they're
I
hardcore,
get
like
you.
beer drinkers, dude.
I'll
like,
drink that mug too.
like you know.
But I told you back in the day, like my buddies got me into wine. You know, my parents never drank wine. They drank Busch. You see the pictures I posted? My dad's always got a Busch in his hand.
Yeah, you got to get them some better beer than that. We're gonna have
they
something
don't
for
care.
them very
No.
soon.
Oh
actually.
yeah, no
Yes,
doubt.
we will.
And they'll drink that. They'll drink whatever. But my parents But when I started playing in the minors, and not juniors, the minors, because all the boys and juniors get a pitcher. Like you're not making money, right? But once you get into the minors, or guys are making couple grand a year, they start getting me into wine, and I got obsessed with cake bread. 07. So
No,
good.
bread and butter.
It's called Cake Bread, and
Okay.
it was 07 the year, and I just kept buying it, man. I got obsessed with it, and
What does that cost?
$100 a bottle at the store.
Okay.
So at the store,
Yeah.
So you go to the, maybe it's like a
But
couple
even
hundred.
like Camus, dude, you can buy at the grocery store right now. You can
be
buy
$80.
an $80, $90 bottle of Camus, or you can buy a $250 bottle of Camus. Like there's different.
Yeah, but
types.
you take the Camus, an $80 bottle of Camus, and you drink it, you feel 10 times better than you would if you go and buy like a Apocalypse or whatever it's called, like a fucking
like a $10, $20 bottle of wine. Yeah.
yeah, $20 gas station.
I don't go cheap on the wine, dude. I don't
No,
go cheap
man,
on the
I
wine.
get
I'm not
you.
saying I buy a $200 bottle of wine every time I buy
No,
wine.
we're not there yet.
But I'm just saying like it's like also just $40, $50, $60 bottle of wine.
Well, if I had a ton of money, and I would put that's like the last resort, but I'd put a badass wine cellar in my house.
Oh,
I
so
mean,
would I.
Fucking
So would I.
right. And
I
just
might
have
even
people
do
give you
one
wine.
anyway, just to like.
I know,
because they
they're
look
expensive.
very classy.
100%.
So I Ty's hockey room in our basement. when he's older.
When he's older.
I'm turning that
don't
into...
You fucking,
no,
don't you be a
no.
motherfucker.
I'm turning that into a wine cellar.
Ty, no more slap shots. No, I know when you get better. Daddy's got to have a wine cellar with no wine in there.
When he gets older.
With no wine in there because you don't have any.
Speaking of the government.
What now?
The Chinese government.
China.
Well, the players, listen, here's the deal with the Olympics, man. Here's the deal. Once they start saying now, and listen, we'll see if they adjust the guidelines or whatever. Okay.
3 to 5 weeks.
And I know the league has come out and said it's up to the players.
Get out of here.
The league doesn't want to go anyway. They never want to go. But they're saying 21 days to 5 weeks in terms of quarantining and all that.
In lovely China.
And let me just say this. It's not just the players who aren't into quarantining for 3 to 5 weeks.
The coaches
management,
trainers,
support staff.
Didn't even think of that. Good call, dude. You're 100%
like all
right.
these guys are like, what? Can we not go? So let me just put this out there right now. I put it on Twitter.
It's a good point.
I've talked to some people about this, those that would be pretty much guaranteed to be going. As long as the guidelines, and it's the IOC, it's the Chinese government, and it's the combination of those who are responsible for creating these rules and these guidelines. If the rules stay as what's being reported, 3 to 5 weeks, there is zero chance. Not 0.1, not 0.2, zero chance, 0% that the NHL is participating in the 2022 Olympics.
Why would you?
In Beijing. Where is it at?
Beijing, China. I'm in China. Fuck that. Fucking.
They're not going.
5 weeks.
They've got kids and shit.
You think like, oh, I don't care if I get COVID. China's going to take care of me. They're going to put me in this fancy hotel. They're going to massage me when I have COVID. They're going to give me a nice Pedialyte. I'm going to be right. No, they're not. I'm going to treat you like dog. Fuck. You kidding me?
And
they care about you and your feelings. Get on with yourself.
Then you have to have like 2 negative tests in 24 hours.
They might look up what you did on social media too. You better watch it.
This guy,
you better watch it. Keith Olbermann.
Keith Olbermann.
What do you do?
He came at me on Twitter today.
No, we talked about it on the radio today.
Oh, you did?
Yes. No, I talked about it with Frankie on the radio.
About what he said to me?
About Keith Olbermann. Brought it up. What'd he say? He agreed.
No, he responded to my tweet.
And said what?
Okay, so
Keith, he's a fucking nerd.
Here's what he said. And he is getting crushed. I got to thank the hockey community for coming to my defense. I didn't respond
he gets bashed.
to his ass.
He's a fucking
but he's always getting bashed. Some people, I just want, like Keith Olbermann, I don't know if he's all there anymore. You just wonder. Maybe he is, maybe
dude,
he's
not.
He's
so far left. He's so far crazy.
He said, Jesus. That's how he started it, by saying Jesus. I mean,
Jesus. He's bringing Jesus into it.
Why are you making this complicated? I don't know if he's talking to me or who he's talking to. He said, why are you making this complicated? No NHL fan outside of Canada could possibly be as interested in Olympic hockey as they are in their own NHL team. So what if no NHL player goes to Beijing? Question mark. Then he says WGAF. I guess that means who gives a fuck. I guess that's what it means, right? WGAF?
Who gives a fuck about him?
I mean, why is he responding to me? And people are just crushing him.
This is what these psychos do, man. Mm-hmm. They need attention. They want to talk about COVID. They're obsessed with it.
I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying,
you're like,
players,
this is ridiculous.
I know you're saying. I'm like, dude, the NHL is planning to go to the Olympics. See? And all I'm saying is, if they're forced to quarantine because of a positive test for up to 5 weeks, they ain't going.
Andy, that's
all I'm saying.
Dude, I was quarantined for 5 days in my beautiful house.
And then you went to the light ceremony. You freaked everybody out there, too.
And I was wearing sweatpants with a shit kicker shirt on.
Hey, you see that picture on social media the other day? Someone took a picture of me at the game, and they said, I can't tell if this is you or Cam.
I go, yeah,
I said, Cam would be wearing jeans from Kohl's.
I would. That's why I'm not hired by anybody. I got to create my own things. No one likes me.
That's not true.
No, I don't. No.
Don't play that card. Don't start doing that.
I do cameos and shit, but I create my own things, and it's all working, and I'm good. But no one hires me for anything, and I don't blame them. I got a bald spot. I cuss too much. Sometimes it don't make sense. I don't know. I'm obsessed with tornadoes and shit.
So just say something to Keith real quick.
Fuck him. Fuck his stupid ass. Who gives a shit about him? Fuck him, dude. He tries to get attention. He's going to talk about climate change next, and he's going to talk about this. He's going to talk. Fuck him. Okay. Fucking nerd. But I will say this, man. If I'm a player, I'm 5 weeks quarantine in China. You're fucking crazy. I ain't getting paid. I need to stay home.
So then if they miss NHL games, they don't get paid for that. If they're forced to be quarantined and it bleeds over into the NHL season. If McDavid can't come back and play against the Flames.
$12 million. Get out of here.
Then he loses money.
And it's not worth it. Now, listen. You know how I am. I'm American through and through, baby.
Mm-hmm.
I love you, Canada. We love Great Britain. Fucking badass
I'm actually
countries.
part Canadian.
Don't give a shit.
No, I'm actually part Canadian.
I know you're not.
My grandparents are from the Czech Republic and from Poland, dude. I got everything in me.
You shouldn't be happy about it. They had to go through a lot of shit.
Yes, they did.
They had to get the fuck out of there and come to America.
That's why we're all about.
That's
why we're about resilience, dude.
Well, America.
You wonder why we grind it out and why we just attack.
That's Americans.
That's how we do it.
That's how we do it. No,
yes.
I love it.
No,
I'm American through and through.
How I'm
you
European
ain't shit
and all that. You've seen me stick handle.
America through and through, baby. Yeah. And I'm just letting you know, I don't want to get stuck in China. I don't want to get stuck in China. I don't give a fuck. I want to wear my American flag on my sweater. I want to wear that USA on my fucking chest. Like, God, you're damn right. But China is a different animal. It's fucked up. We love the people. We feel sorry for the people. That's why we chirp them. We're not chirping the people. It's the government. Yeah. We love the people. They want to get the fuck out of there. They can't even go on fucking internet.
It's interesting you
bring that up. We love the people.
Because I think
there's a difference.
I think if the players don't go, I think you're going to hear a lot of that. It's going to be like, we're not going because the way
LeBron James going to say something?
Well, because the way they're treating that tennis player and other
that's what I'm saying.
The sweatshops.
Andy, I brought that up 3 weeks ago, and you chirped me, and I'm like, fuck you. I'm telling you.
What do you mean I chirped you?
Dude, I said China has just a tennis player, and you're like, no, you know about that?
I didn't know much about it.
At the time, I just know about it.
So, I've read up on that now, too. So, I think some of that stuff may start coming out.
It is coming out.
That may be an angle.
If you have your head in the sand, you don't know about it. If you have your head in the sand, you don't know about it. Mm-hmm. But these hockey guys, man, some of them do have their head in the sand. They don't know what the hell. They're from Canada. They're like,
with all the stuff going on with the pandemic
and
Corona, isn't that crazy that the Olympics right now are in China? Like, of all the places to go.
I know that happened years ago. Mm-hmm. That probably was set 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah. No, it's not like they just did it 6 months
I was going to say that.
No, they do it several years out in advance.
And China's the biggest growing country in the world, man. China's gigantic. Mm-hmm. They're having they have these railroads that go through everything. Now, if you go to China and you get on a railroad and you go to North China, it's like going back in time, dude.
Oh, really?
It's like going
back
in
time. North China is different than South China.
Oh, yeah. East China, West China.
What's going on in East China versus North China?
Beijing and all that's in East China, dude. It's all right there, where the rivers come up, the Yellow River.
What's the most beautiful part of China to go to? Do you know?
Well, I mean, Hong Kong's beautiful. It's all beautiful.
China, but that's a separate country, isn't it?
No, Hong Kong is in China. Beijing they got 30, 40 million people. They have billions of people in China, dude.
Is Hong Kong a country?
No, it's a city in China, you donkey dick. And don't edit that out.
No.
Don't you edit that out, Brody. I'm looking at you.
I hear Hong Kong is beautiful, especially in the fall. Oh, the leaves, fall. Everything. I hear it's incredible in the fall. Yeah. No, it is.
No.
Do you like Chinese food?
Fucking right. I like Chinese people.
I love Chinese people.
I don't like their government.
There's a lot of Chinese people in my neighborhood and stuff like that are very
probably wealthy.
People. And they give me one of my
give you what?
One of my neighbors has
soy sauce.
He chops down wood and gives me a lot of shit.
I thought he's from India, dude.
Well, that's another guy.
India's got a billion
people
too,
okra. Who's growing
India's
the okra?
India's got a billion people too.
Really?
India. It's got a billion people.
They've got so much money in India, dude. India has a ton of money.
Andy, India is the most impoverished place you could possibly fucking think of. Are you out of your go look at New Delhi. Go look at New Delhi, India, and look at how people live there. And you're telling me they have that much money?
Cam,
the poverty level there is outrageous.
Okay. Well, let me just say this.
God, you say dumb
Hold on,
shit.
Man. Hold on. Because
the doctors come out of there, sure. They come to the U.S. and make money.
Well, there's a lot of Indians that I know
that live here
who are incredible people, and they make lots of money.
Who said they're not incrable people?
They make lots of money.
We said they're not incredible people.
No, nobody said that.
You said there's a lot of wealth in India, and I'm telling you.
I think there is.
Andy,
what am I thinking of? Am I thinking of Dubai, maybe?
Dubai.
Yeah,
right
I'm thinking of Dubai.
That's the Middle East,
That's
homie.
the Middle East. Okay, maybe we'll edit that out.
No,
I don't
we're not.
know. I mean, the Indians
Brody,
that I know
you.
are making lots of money.
No, because they moved here and they're successful doctors. Yes, and that kid that got a 4.0, your neighbor, he's going to be a doctor too. But he got the fuck out of India. Dude, it's hard. Dude, look at the Ganges River. Go on YouTube.
The tigers are?
Listen to me. Go on YouTube and look up the Ganges River and see how these people live off this most disgusting river ever you can imagine.
Well, I don't know about there, but there's other parts of India where I think is...
Well, yeah, there's always parts of India that's wealthy, but the majority is not. If you look at the U.S., man, we got nasty things, but there's a lot of middle-class people.
What's the capital of India? Is it New Delhi?
It's New Delhi, dude.
Yeah, New Delhi.
It's a fucking billion people.
Yeah, there's a lot of money there, though. I'm telling you, in New Delhi.
There's a lot of not money, dude.
Well, there's some. But
listen,
I'm just saying, there
besides
is some
Brazil,
money.
the biggest, like, honestly, the impoverished that goes on through the mountains, dude. It goes on forever, just like in Brazil. Brazil's so fucked up too. But yeah, everybody's got money everywhere. Okay. But I'm telling you, God, Andy,
we got some stuff to get into. Ivy turned 8 over the weekend. I brought you some cake.
So cute.
I
I'm
brought
not
you
eating
some
that bull fucking shit.
What do you mean
Get
you're
the
not
fuck
eating
out of
that,
here,
dude? I brought you cake, leftover
cake. Why do you
cake.
do stupid things?
Because she had a monster donut.
Dude, you got kids like touching food and shit.
No one touched it.
And now, like 2 days later, you brought me a fucking
I cut
cake.
it with a pizza cutter. I cut it with a pizza
Ivy
cutter.
looks so goddamn cute. She's so adorable. Your whole family's adorable. But then you cut cake for me 2 days later and you give it to me. You're fucking crazy.
Brody
I'm
will
not
eat
touching it.
Brody
well,
wants
give it
it.
to Brody.
No, you will.
I gave Brody
you
a Slim Jim from 3 weeks ago and he ate it. Like, Jesus Christ.
Well, hey, you will eat this.
I'm not going
and
to
we're
eat
going to
it.
videotape it. No, listen.
No, it doesn't work that way. I'm not playing stupid fuck games.
A local baker, very successful baker.
They paying money?
They've won a lot of awards.
They paying?
No, that's why I'm not naming who it is. But they've won a lot of awards. Very successful.
And they probably are, Andy. But when you wait for 2 days and you send it to me, I'm not eating it. Stupid.
I said, can you? Because her favorite, she loves chocolate Long Johns. I said, can you make a chocolate Long John cake in the shape of an 8? So it was you saw the picture, right?
Cute. Yeah,
you saw a huge 8, all chocolate Long Johns.
Yep.
And it wasn't like she had a birthday party or anything like that. It was just at the house. The birthday party's next weekend. Nobody else has been on that. I used a pizza cutter to cut this cake. It was huge. We're not going to eat it all.
Andy,
so I brought you some.
I'm going to throw it away.
Eat it.
Andy, I'm going to throw it away, and I'm going to do it right in front of your fucking
Brody,
face.
eat some right now and tell me how it is. It's amazing, dude.
It's got hepatitis A through Z on it.
Take a bite of that.
You got kids. Dude, there's fingerprints in that mug.
No, there's not.
There's fingerprints in that from the children. They've been licking door handles, and they're licking shit.
It's one of the best donuts you've ever had.
Get that away from me. Dude, I'll go get donuts myself, homie. I'll go to QT and get motherfucking donuts. I don't need donuts from 3 days ago from a children-infested, disease-riddled donut / cake that you gave that's 2 days old. Don't fuck with me.
You'll eat it.
I'm going to Chester's Chicken when I get home.
Chester's Chicken?
I know. It's a hillbilly chicken
I've never heard of that place.
I know. It's hillbilly. That's what I'm fun to do.
Hillbilly.
No children.
Chester's Chicken. Hey,
it's from a gas station.
John Tortorella.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I break that down?
We're going to break it down here, but I just have a question for you. Like, do you think he really believes what he says? Like, he's like the ultimate get off my lawn, like, hater. He hates everything.
I think he knows the game right now.
But I think he's probably, he knows he's going to get that reaction. The producers know he's going to get that reaction. It's the only reaction ESPN is really getting right now in terms of hockey is when, like, Torch says something.
I get what you're saying.
And is this, like, planned? Like, I'm not saying that he doesn't believe that. Like, I'm sure he said that back in the green room when they're having, like, their production meeting, and he's, like, said what he said in the production meeting, what he said on camera, and they're like, oh, this is going to get a lot of attention. You have to say that. So then he comes out and he says it, but it's like, does he really believe it? Because here's the thing. If I'm an owner, if I'm a GM around the league, and you're looking to replace your coach or fire your coach, or maybe you have fired your coach and you have to hire, like, is this the guy you want bringing in? Is this going to motivate the young players or the players on the roster to be like, oh, yeah, I want to play for him? So it's like, ESPN, in terms of their hockey coverage, I mean, it's great they're on ESPN and everything. I'm not hating on ESPN at all. But I'm saying the only time you really hear about ESPN in relation to what they're doing with the NHL is when Torch says something crazy or stupid.
You do dumb shit with cake and stuff and tornadoes and geography, but you're 100% right on that. If I'm a player, I'm like, I want to get creative. Here's the bitch of it. Buffalo, your D sucks. The fuck? Not only could he flip it over the fucking net, he could have passed to Sonny Milano, and they would have scored anyway. Sonny Milano's just sitting there. The D's not even, like, touching his stick. Yeah. He's not, and he's like, I could just, like, either you get cute with me because we have options, or you just pass it to me, and
I don't look at it like it's good for the game or bad for the game. I'm like,
just look at,
whatever.
The opportunity presented itself, and when you're a skilled guy, and if an opportunity, you're going to do fucking skilled-ass shit.
Let me just say this.
That's what happens.
And I said this last night on TV, too. Like, they lived together. They're on the beach. They probably talk about this all the time. And they're like, hey, let's do this.
Hot girls.
So it's not just Zegras, it's Milano. It's that chemistry they have with one another.
What's up, baby?
He knows it's coming.
It's like doing a radio show to somebody.
But the reality is, like, you don't have to worry about this happening all the time in the NHL because like there's not many guys that can really pull that off.
I mean, you can flip a puck over.
They can. I know that,
Andy,
but
I'm not gonna lie to you.
In a game, who would do it?
Listen to me. If we were just fucking around, and I flipped it up, you could hit it in that.
Oh yes, I could.
It's a defense on Buffalo. I didn't like tie anybody up. Like you let them do that. So if you're gonna let somebody do that, now here's where I'm with John Tortorella. That was stupid. I think he's forcing the saying stupid shit sometimes. But the thing about Connor McDavid, I'm like, there might be some truth to that mug, dude.
Yeah,
like he might try. Everybody's like, you're a fucking idiot. Well, a Stanley Cup coach, fucking idiot. Yeah, sure.
We'll find out.
Okay, how about you guys sit in a room with John Tortorella and go toe to toe with him with all questions and see if you can own him. Just do it. Just see if you could sit there with John Tortorella and break the game down, and you guys watch a game and you break it down. Like, what would you do on that play? What would you do? And just see where you're at. Just see where you're at.
Where he was
idiot.
off, though, in regards to McDavid, was that McDavid really wasn't complaining. He doesn't 100%. Complain, dude. They were asking him about it, and he responded to it.
Good call on that, Andy. No doubt about it.
He wasn't even accurate there.
He wasn't accurate there, but as far as changing his game, people are like, this is fucking changing his game. Well, in the playoffs, you might have to.
Everybody has to.
Like, you just might have to change a little bit because no one's just going to let you. You're not going to go 1-on-5 in a play. They're going to fuck you up. Yeah. You're going to go 1-on-5 against Trouba. You're going to go, play against Trouba real quick. See what he's going to do to you.
All of a sudden, he became is he like the hardest hitter in the game
Stevens,
all of a sudden? Like, what happened to him?
Unbelievable hits, Andy.
And
bone-crushing.
They're legal.
And I love it. Mm-hmm. And people, Mike McKenna came out, who's never hit anybody in his life. We love you, Mike. You're a handsome bugger. We love you. St. Louis guy, played in the league. Blah, 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 love you. But he doesn't like those hits. And I'm like, and I think Mikey said, I took hitting classes when I was like 3. I'm like, cool. That means nothing. But I want guys to dangle. I want guys to do crazy shit. But I also want that motherfucker. If you got your head up your motherfucking ass,
I truly
believe fun to get fucked.
I truly believe if I was a GM,
I love it.
I would have those type of players on my team. I would have players on my team that can truly intimidate opposing players on a regular basis,
like that.
And just make everyone around them just a little bit taller, a little bit tougher, man.
When you remember when I rocked you? Remember when Bob? No.
Unsuspected.
Remember when Bobby? Fine, not me, not Chaser. Mm-hmm. When Bobby fucking smashed your bitch ass, and you had your head up your ass like a goddamn fool.
Bobby Plager.
Bobby, God, it's my most beautiful video of anything in life. Is that I cry when I see of happiness. You're okay, but I do, and
you
so
see
do you.
My chin strap around my neck.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's the most beautiful thing. You guys got to look that up on YouTube. Please look that up. Bobby Plager, who we absolutely adore. Fucked Andy
Legend
up.
in St. Louis.
Andy was the first broadcaster ever to actually play with the guys because no one could even, like, if you give a broadcaster or for the most part, like a writer or a blogger, a stick, they're gonna be like, "What do I do with this? I don't know. How do I tie my stick?" Andy actually knows how to play.
He's not good. 6 hours later, this guy sucks.
This guy
Get
sucks.
Him off the PK.
He doesn't know what to do on the wall on the breakout. Okay. Here, take a stick. Show me what to do. Show me how to do a backhand sauce real quick. Just real quick. How do I backhand sauce this if I need to get on with yourself? Andy knows how to play a little bit, and he goes out there, and Bobby Plager knows that Andy's the only one in the media, and Bobby doesn't like the media as he shouldn't. And he fucked you up so bad in the most clean, casual, coolest goddamn sequence you could possibly imagine. Andy's helmet goes flying. He's like, "Why?" Andy's on his ass, and he looks up to Bobby. Bobby's standing over him like, "I own you." And Andy's like, "Hi, Bob. What happened to me?" The most beautiful thing ever. I'm so glad that it's an honor. It's an honor. My point is, I want
Bobby
those hits.
and I were very tight, too.
I want those hits. Yes. And if you elbow somebody, Andy, you're getting 15 games. Mm-hmm. You're getting 10 games. You're done. But if you hit a guy like Jacob Trouba did, like Bobby did to you, that is so healthy. Hey, superstars, we want you. No one wants superstars to get hurt. But I want you to know that you get crushed a couple times here and there and right in your chest.
What about when you crush somebody and then someone from the opposing team comes after you, they jump you, they want to fight, and then you kick their ass too. It's like, that's the double whammy. You get beat up.
Can I break it down?
Yeah.
Can I break it down?
Go ahead.
All y'all out there, you look stupid. When a guy throws a big hit, and all of a sudden you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you're like, I
don't like that.
I have to do something. I'm the guy. And you go and you grab Trouba, or not Landeskog. I'm just saying it in most cases. No, I'm just saying, if you grab a guy
Reaver.
and you don't even throw a fucking punch, and he laid a clean hit on you, and then you get a 2, 5, and 10, and your whole game is ruined, and you don't even throw a punch, and he piss pumps you, you're a fucking idiot. Here's what you do. When a guy throws a big hit like that, you just go up to him and you hit him in the thing. You're like, let's go. He'll do it. He'll go you. He knows. You don't have to jump him. Just grab him, hit him. Just take your stick, whack him on it back. Let's go. Get squared off. That's the time you finally get square off. Get your groove on. You want to take your bucket off? Whatever you want to do. Actually, you probably can't do that now. Get your groove, get your grip, and throw punches on him. So now he knows if I do this again, I'm actually going to have to get into a fight. Because now these guys are crushing cats, and all of a sudden somebody's like, I'm going to be relevant. Watch me. And they grab, and they get a 2, 5, and 10, because you grab a dude. Now your whole game's over. Your guy gets rocked. It's a triple whammy in your fucking face. You think your team likes it? When one of your guys fights a guy after he motherfucked one of your dudes up clean, and then he gets piss pumped, and he gets a 2, 5, and 10, you have to kill it off for 20 minutes? Go fuck yourself. It's the stupidest thing in the world. You have to figure out a way to be able to do something that's going to actually change the momentum, and if you can't do that, then it's not worth it.
Yeah, okay.
Pardon my language, man. Whatever.
Well, we got a new sponsor on this edition, with the Better Business Bureau. So go ahead and tell them that you're like.
Well, I'm just saying.
I told them you.
I'm just saying.
I told them you don't curse.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
I told them you don't curse.
I don't eat that nasty ass cake you got in front of me. God, Brody, how's your stomach doing right now? Pissing out of your ass
that's
soon.
From like one of the top bakeries.
Yeah, the kids
in town.
touched it, man.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did. I see fingerprints in that mug.
They're like, we'd love to sponsor, but do you curse on there? I'm like, no.
I don't.
I don't.
No, we're religious.
Hey, the Flames were supposed to play Chicago. They got a bunch of cases and whatever. But if they're
playing good too.
But here's the deal: they come to Chicago, they get more cases. Then they got to quarantine for even longer. They can't even get back to Canada. So it's a little bit of a difference. People are like, "Oh, why are the Flames going to get their post?" But St. Louis can't. Dude, St. Louis is better with like 10 forwards.
Right now they
want to play with like 8 forwards.
Yeah,
I know. Hey, listen, and they're going to get some bodies back now. Falk will be back.
The
Bennington, Bozak.
Yep.
They still don't have the Perrons.
They've got the goalies.
Shan is going on IR. Dude, they got a bunch of issues, man.
And Jordan Kyrou.
Injury. Kyrie's been hurt.
God damn, boy. But you know what? Canada's different, and we love the Canadians.
David Perron going on long-term injury.
We love the Canadians, man. We love all y'all up there. We know that. But Calgary's doing good, man. They got a cool team. They're cool.
Well, they're not doing that great as of late. They keep losing.
Well, now they're.
And I really felt like, as much as I like Calgary and as much as they were a good story the first 20 games, I'm like, I don't know. Come and see me at the 45
Yeah, but I want them to
mark.
do good.
So
they're cool.
And they got great uniforms.
Lucic, and they got Matthew and shit.
Let's go. Yeah, listen, they got a lot of positive
stuff. We got
stuff.
our boys on that team.
Yeah, we do. Some teams, Anaheim's another one. Like,
we love Anaheim.
I don't know. They just got to prove it to me. Like, are they who they have been the first 20 games? Like, first 20 games, I don't know. Let's see how they are the next 20 games.
Can we say one more thing? Because I know we're going a little long. Benny Bishop, we love you.
Oh, dude.
We love you.
Yes.
He texted me Saturday night.
Likewise, dude.
Oh, drawn out. Yes. Like it wasn't like, thanks, Cam. Like I would have done like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He really.
What would you have said?
It depends on who it is.
Thanks,
no one texted me when I retired
dude.
because I think Nottingham did. Don't even bring it up. But
have you ever officially retired?
Yeah.
We may have to have like a.
No, they retired me for me because I kind of screwed them over because I got a radio.
Did you sign like a 1-day deal with the Blues? Did they sign you to a 1-day contract?
They don't. They don't even want me doing a jumbotron. They don't even care. I just talk about them every day more than anybody else.
You don't even come down to the game.
I'm the one that talks about them probably more than anybody, but it's all good. The point is, Benny Bishop is such a cool cat, man. He was 15 years old. He worked out with me and Patty and Bolig and all the guys in fucking power play. Ricky Wilson, rest in peace. I love you to death.
He's right around the same age as you, right?
No, he's younger than me, dude.
36.
No, he's younger than me. He's an 86. But I was young.
Right around the same age. You're an 84.
I'm an 84. He's 2 years younger than me.
Yeah.
But I remember he was young coming into power play. I was playing Neo. He was still like a kid. And we brought him in, man. He was just always cool. Just a good dude, man.
Can I tell you a story about him?
Good dude, yep.
Okay, so 2004. And the lockout was going on, 2004, 2005. And they missed the full year that year for the kids who don't know. And there was a charity game here in town, and all the big dogs played in it. Kachuk, Roenick, Al McInnes, Pronger, Gary Roberts came in, Joe Nieuwendyk came in. I mean, it was just like one name after another. I mean, full of NHL superstars, dude. Full of NHL superstars. And they needed a goaltender. And they brought in this teenage, lanky, stringy kid.
From CBC, right?
From Chaminade High School.
Yeah, same difference.
Ben Bishop.
All boys
he played AAA Blues here in town and whatever. Ben Bishop came, and he, like, stood on his head, dude. Now, listen, it was a charity game, right?
Yeah.
But still, you know how it is in a charity game. You get guys who are still active players.
Yeah.
You get a chance to score, they want to bury it, right?
Goddamn right.
And he's making one save after another. I'll never forget after the game, kind of walking out underneath. It was at the Family Arena in St. Charles, and all his family was there, and they were like, yay, giving him like a standing ovation when he walked out with his bag over his shoulder. Yay, you know. And back in the day, like when Pronger and those guys, Jamal Mayers, Bryce Salvador, Ryan Johnson, Dallas Drake, all those guys, when they would skate, I used to go out and skate with them at the mills, whatever, just like whatever, you know. And Ben Bishop was like a teenager. He'd come out, and I remember them being like, dude, this kid's going to be good, whatever. He's going to be a good player. So anyway, after the Family Arena game, a few months later, the Blues had a draft, and Larry Plow was there and like whatever.
I love Larry, man.
And they drafted him in the 3rd round.
Yep. I play with him, yeah.
It was after that game where they really started tracking him because he was playing Tier 2 North American Hockey League at the time.
Texas Tornado fought guys and stuff like that. It was the funniest thing in the world.
So, and that's when they started, okay, we're gonna track this kid and see what he's all about. And at that time, I mean, there weren't too many 6'6", 6'7" goaltenders floating around. No. Like it was like, whoa.
Now there is.
This kid's like, oh my God, both goalies last night, Blues versus Anaheim. Yeah. Both goalies are 6'6". Yep. Yeah, Logan Brown out there was 6'6". Buddy Robinson was like 6'6".
Buddy Robinson was
still doing it. 6'5". Like, dude, you get all the. How big were the players in that game last night? But anyway, and then the Blues drafted him a few months later, and he goes on. He was a Vegeta finalist a couple of times. Represented
made a lot of
USA,
money.
Went to the Stanley Cup final. Made a ton of money, man.
Made a ton of money, dude. He's all good to go.
He's all good.
Here's what I was going to say too. We were so good to him, dude. He was just always happy. Always had a smile on his face, and I go, dude, just fucking for right now. People are going to hire you. They're going to want you to do whatever you want. If I'm you, kick your motherfucking feet up. Get established on where you want to go.
What does he need to do?
People are going to hire him.
For what?
For whatever.
Saying,
he doesn't need, no.
He doesn't need
That's what I'm saying to him, man. You put them to put words in my mouth. I'm about to say, you don't need to do anything yet. You're always going to have whatever you want. If you get bored, somebody's going to hire whatever you want to do. Kick your fucking feet up. Watch your kids grow up.
That's right.
Spend some money. Have your fucking place look shit kicking. Get your knee fixed. Get your mind right. Yeah. Get your head right. Yeah. And chill. And then figure out what the fuck you're going to do. Then when you have 50 fucking people on you, be like, I want to do this, that, and that.
He may be the first guest that we've had that we interviewed twice.
That's right. We interviewed him twice.
No, he may be the first one that we ever interviewed twice.
We did already interview him, didn't we?
We had Bishop on right after a tornado in Texas. Remember? He was like
Jamie
hiding
Ben
in his bathroom and stuff like that. Oh, yeah. But it was during the... it was like towards the early portion of the pandemic.
That's right.
You and I couldn't even be together, so we did it over the phone.
No, just like Covey and all.
He's
and
coming
Eric
in town, I think, next week, man. We may have to
Get his ass in.
We may have to bring him in.
Get him in, dude. 100%.
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
Because we got to do another interview with Ben Bishop.
He sent me back a text, and I was like, oh, like sometimes, when people send you back something, it makes you feel good. That's why I do that to people.
I know, and it's personal.
That's why I do.
And
it was like, oh, really?
And for them to share that type of stuff with you,
it makes you feel good.
It makes you feel good. You're like, wow.
Like, damn right.
He really appreciated that.
I would have been like, thanks, homie.
I know.
No, I do. I'm nice. I treat people like, I'll tell you I treat people like I've known you for 20 years, even if I don't. And people are like, wow. And that just goes a long way.
That's not true. You forget everyone's name.
I do forget names.
You have no idea who you're talking to.
But I'm nice to them.
You are.
And I'm very social. Yeah, I'm the most social cock.
Chester's Chicken. You go in there today.
I'm going in that mug.
Nice to you.
I'm going in that mug. Chester's Chicken. It's really good.
All right. David Backus is on this edition. And he sat down live with us. It does make a difference when you have somebody here live. But really interesting career. Probably more interesting than people realize. You know, like he kind of has that like persona, like everything was just perfect all the time for David Backus. But, dude, he really had to overcome a lot of personal adversity as well over the course of his career. Yeah. Like, I mean, the Boston Bruins basically, they like sent him home, Cam. They like sent him
very
home.
Bizarre.
Dude, it was very weird for a guy who had
like he's a cancer in a locker room.
Well, who had accomplished as much as he had. I'm really surprised that the leaders in Boston weren't able to like handle that situation.
I agree with that.
Like if you're Chara and Bergeron, and you're like, hey, we don't treat people like this around here. This isn't cool. Trade his ass. Find him a place. But don't tell him to go home and he can't use our training facility. What?
I know. Bruce Cassidy, we need to get his ass on, dude.
I hear he's a great guy, though. He's tight with some people. He's tight with He's tight with
he says some
Hanger and
dumbass
stuff like
things
that.
on.
No, he's a good interview. I know.
Remember when the final, the Stanley Cup final?
Yeah. No,
I know. He'd bitch about the refs, and Craig Berube did.
Oh, yeah.
It was kind of cool.
I'm just saying, like,
kind of cool.
I just know people that are really close with him, so I don't want to chirp him too much.
Okay, no, that's cool. I get you.
But I also know some players who have played for him,
that's going to be the case.
And not just David. And they don't speak all that highly of him, too. But, that's kind of like the player-coach relationship.
That's how it goes.
It is what it is.
There's some people that don't like
guys
Keith.
who played for Babcock. They didn't like Babcock. Guys who played for Hitch, I'm sure didn't like Hitch. Some guys probably didn't like playing for Q.
No doubt.
So
I don't know any that didn't like to play for Q, though.
I'm just saying.
Not going to lie to you.
There's somebody out there.
Andy,
the star players love Q.
When you have 200, how many, or 160 podcasts with Hall of Famers?
Nobody says anything bad.
No, they do.
About Q.
No one. That's what I mean. Nobody.
Yeah.
And so, kind of where you're at with what people think.
100%.
On everybody. You know where the big boys are.
Occasionally somebody
you keep doing these goddamn things,
Andy.
We kind of know what people are.
Listen, I'm just saying. I'm sure there's somebody out there who feels like he got screwed over by Q and didn't get an opportunity or whatever. But the players that he played, the star players, they loved Joe Quenneville.
Yeah. Okay. But David Backus, awesome dude.
Yeah. No, people are going to absolutely love this interview.
Dude, he was so cool with us. I went home and I told my wife, who loves Bax too, and was in the locker room with Kelly. Kelly saw. When I first got to the Blues, I'd bring in my buddies, girls.
You can't do that.
Crazy stuff in the wives' lounge. And David's wife would be like, well, what's going on? And all the women would be like, what's going on? And then I found Kate, and everything stopped. And then I was normal, and they loved Kate.
Well, you can't be
but
doing
I was
that.
crazy.
You're bringing in, like,
I was taking advantage. Well, I was taking advantage of the system. I'm from there.
You couldn't do that now.
My buddy... hell no.
Well, they've got rules and stuff like that.
My buddies were parking underneath.
Yeah, but see, I don't know how they would do that.
How they did that?
I don't know. That would never happen today.
Well, it did.
Ever.
Well, it did.
Ever happen.
Underneath.
All right, Hair Club, over 1,200 locations throughout North America. Canada, USA, they got them everywhere. Listen, go to our landing page. I need people to go to the landing page, honestly.
Yeah.
You got to go there, hairclub.com/Cam Strick, and sign up for your appointment for your consultation from our landing page.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
And you'll get like a nice discount. I think $250 off your first consultation.
Get you started, baby. Get that started.
So get that started. Do it today. You can also call 800-279-7878.
Yeah.
800-279-7878. Mention the Cam Strick Podcast, and they'll take care of you, dude. They've got so many options for everybody. You want it thicker, you're losing your hair, whatever you need, they will certainly find a recipe and a solution for you, man. They customize it for you.
Keep it thick, too. Like, you might have thick hair, and that's what gets you going. Like, I could never do TV that much because, like, you got to have nice hair.
Not from behind. You couldn't.
Not from well.
No, not from
the
top.
Don't film me
from
behind. I don't know why you would. But anyway.
Well, you made the camera.
Maybe they film you from behind.
You made the camera move.
I'm just saying. If I turn my head though, I'm not gonna lie, you'll see it.
You said last week, you're like, dude, you told the camera guy, hey, well, you like to move over here. They don't want you to get the back of my head.
Yeah, when I was in the yeah. Anyhow, the point is, look, you might have thick hair, but you keep it thick. Do the PRP, all kinds of stuff. They have so many different options for you.
Oh yeah. Honestly, and it's great people, man, and it's easy solutions for everybody. So get in there and support our sponsors, more importantly, over there with Hair Club. Again, hairclub.com/Cam Strick. Get there and do it today. All right, CarShield and carshield.com. 800-857-2481.
Wintertime.
Yes.
Wintertime's coming. Don't fuck around.
Here's the deal. You pick your mechanic. You choose where you want to take your car. You never know when something's going to go down. It could be a new alternator, a new engine, new computer. You're looking at thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in repairs. When you have CarShield, you're protected. You pay your small amount of money that you spend every month for your sign up, and you're all set, man. It's that peace of mind. Then you're good to go. They truly are an incredible business. They have something that'll suit everybody's needs. Again, they'll customize a package for you.
Easy peasy,
so give them a call today, 800-857-2481, CarShield and carshield.com. Mention that promo code CAM, you're going to save 10% as well.
Yeah, and probably get laid.
No, I don't know about that.
Well, maybe.
New sponsor. Okay, we have a new sponsor coming on. I'd rather you not talk like that.
I'm just saying, is that not an incentive to put my name in? Like, it is
800
Your wife's going to be like, oh, I might make love to you tonight. Nothing wrong with that, Andy.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
800-857-2481.
Stop talking about it.
800-857-2481. Get the Car Shield and get the Car Shield now. You use Car Shield several times.
Yeah, actually. I embarrassed myself at the Mexican restaurant in Eureka. Okay. Yeah. I was like, bye, Cam. I love you. And I'm like, I'm like, oh, fuck. What? Where's Cam? Oh, his truck doesn't work. He's a piece of shit. I'm like, oh, no, I'm not. I'm cool. Look, I have a podcast.
What's on your Christmas menu, by the way? Do you know what you're cooking yet for Christmas Eve?
Prime rib, homie.
Okay. Yeah,
I ain't fucking around.
Don't mess that up. I'm telling you not to mess that up.
Now, I haven't got Kate, as far as Christmas gifts, I am so bad at things. I don't know how to get her anything. She's so picky. I don't know what to do. I went to Golf Galaxy. She doesn't listen to this. I went to Golf Galaxy, hooked her up with shit, because girls, it's a fashion show for them. They all hang out, you know.
Yeah, you have to dress the part. That's what I do on the golf course. You just
you're part of the women folk. But the point is, I hooked her up. She needs some like wintertime kind of like golf shit.
Okay.
I hate shopping for her. I'm so bad at it, Andy. Help me.
Bellman and Bellman.com. Hook your spouse up with a new ride for Christmas time.
I'm not there yet,
That's
but
what
I
I'm
know there's
talking
some
about.
people that are.
Oh, yeah. The Buick, the GMC on one side of the street in Troy, Missouri. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram on the other side. You get the best customer service you will get anywhere throughout North America. I feel comfortable saying that. These are incredible people. Dan, Kenny, Dale, everybody over there with the Bellmans. And they're going to love this episode with David Backus, too. They're huge hockey supporters here in St. Louis.
Big time.
Huge supporters of the Blues, man. They have been for a long, long time. And they're just amazing people, man. This is the time of year. We're thankful, man, for all our sponsors, honestly.
Goddamn right.
All these people that support us and the people out there who listen, who support our sponsors, too, man. We can't thank you enough for that.
Yeah, keep that up.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, it goes a long way. And these guys are all good people.
And we only bring good people on with us, okay?
We pick and choose.
Like the people over there at Daredevil Hockey as well.
Oh, Carlo? Fuck his ass. I'm on with him tomorrow.
But again, Bellman.com. Check it out. Cam's looking at that Buick Enclave. It's frost white.
I'll get whatever.
Captain seats.
I need to talk to Danny Boy. I need to do something with him.
Yeah.
Like, I need a shit kicker, Danny Boy. I'm not going to lie to you. The winter time's coming. Winter is coming, just like Game of Thrones. I miss Game of Thrones.
And they want your used car, too, man.
Well, I'll give my used car, but I need a shit kicker. And I need a diesel.
Yeah.
I don't care about gas money. I know it's out the wazoo. I don't give a shit anymore. I want a shit
Where
kicker.
you live, you need to care.
I need a shit kicker.
Where you live, you should care.
I gotta take care of shit. There might be some kid drowning in a river, and I gotta get my fucking diesel out to get that fucker out.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Bellman.com. Get there today. And say hi to everybody over there, and feel free to drop our names, too, man. It might give you a little bit of...
Drop my name.
You know, you'll get great service no matter what. Drop my name.
Drop Andy's name. Hey, I know Andy. What? No, it's still $25,000. No, they're great, dude. They'll know exactly. They love Andy.
All right, Daredevil Hockey, though. Listen, the kids are still coming. I have some people reach out to me, actually, on Instagram. True story. And they've hooked up their kids with Daredevil.
As they should.
For Christmas. And they said, hey, I want to let you know I appreciate you saving us some money. Like, you save big time money. You use that promo code Cam Strick, all caps, you save a lot of money. I don't want to say how much money you save, but you save a good amount of money,
Well, and you're saving like...
25%, but
you're saving a big
number
cut
of
on
dollars.
your kid, too. That's going to go through hell with going to the...
Who was the player the other day that got cut?
They got Yeah, I saw it.
Oh, Patrick Hornquist.
Oh, my God, with the skate going on.
Oh, my God.
Going
dude.
and he
That's
knew it.
why
He knew
you
it.
need Daredevil. I had Denver University Hockey reach out to me and ask me about that, too.
Good.
So, everybody, I mean, listen, take care of yourself, protect yourself. Who wants to get cut by a skate? This is like the most... I say to myself, Cam, when we talk about Daredevil, I'm like, why do I feel like I have to push the product?
I don't know.
Like,
Andy, I
people
don't know.
should just, like,
Look,
know.
if I had kids, which I probably do in Windsor, they're going to get a hold of me here soon once I make it really, really big. But I'm going to be like, I got to get fucking Daredevil, this monster mutant kid. This mutant kid I created up there.
Their mom
Kate's going to be so happy.
Their mom is like 70 years old.
I know.
Now, right?
Yes, she was a hairstylist. I was 55 and I was 17. I did weird things up there, I'm not going to lie to you. But the point is, I would, if I had kids, I'd be like, oh my God, there's no way you're not doing that. No way. No way.
Oh, my God, it's not an option to go out without it?
I'd be pissed at you if Ty
Daredevil Hockey?
I'd be fucking pissed
No
at you.
chance he's going out without
Ty
it.
doesn't need Ty needs a good scar on his face.
You like his team picture?
He looks so cute, dude. Jesus Christ. So cute. He's the cutest fucking kid.
Okay.
And then that's why I get pissed whenever Tornadoville's coming out. And you're like, I'm at Santa's playground. Me. I go, get the fucking kids inside.
All right, here's the deal. New sponsor alert. The Better Business Bureau, Cam.
Oh, my God.
Listen,
Big
I'm
dogs.
excited.
Big
These
dog
people, they do everything you need to know. Like all these other companies we're talking about, this is where you turn to when you're looking for like an honest business. You go to the BBB. The BBB has been reviewing companies for over 100 years, dude.
Yes, they have.
Okay, so, like, do you trust the reviews from people you don't know? You got to ask that question. That's what you're doing. Like, when you go to other online review sites, like, if people just go to these other online review sites, you're not getting the real review.
Nope, not at all.
You got to go to the BBB. The BBB has been verifying the credibility of companies for over 100 years, dude. They've been doing this forever.
That's what you want.
When you're looking for a list of companies that you can trust, you have to start your search at the BBB. And I really mean that, man. It's free to the community. You don't have to pay the BBB to see the review or area businesses. Like, it's free. To get the review, it's free. It doesn't cost any money, which is another difference between the BBB and some of these online review sites, Cam. They make you pay for the reviews. They don't do that at the BBB.
No. BBB to beep beep a deep beep. Hell yeah.
You can find trustworthy BBB accredited businesses at bbb.org. So go there today. They've been in the business reviewing companies and charities, like I said, for over 100 years. Use the BBB to research a business before spending your hard-earned money, man. Money is in your pocket. You don't want to waste money. Like,
especially you.
No matter what you're going to spend money on, you should always do the research.
100%.
Anyway,
everybody does that.
Yeah.
And you guys know about that. And they have so many different.
Do you check out reviews, restaurants, and all that stuff?
100,000.
Hotels.
Don't waste my
hotels.
Hotels? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I want fucking bed bugs.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Plus charities too. Like if you're going to give money to a charity, they also provide the reviews of thousands of charities to help you make wise donations to the charities. So again, the reviews for businesses and charities is available 24/7 at bbb.org.
Easy peasy, baby.
Dude, we love the Better Business Bureau. We talked to them on the phone the other day.
Great people.
Unbelievable people. And we're like, yeah, we want to like help you.
It's just easy to talk about.
We want to partner
think about
with
that,
you.
guys. Like you come in and watch. You're going to Minnesota.
Natasha.
You're going to
give her a shout out.
Natasha, what's up, girl? Oh, I knew it. Oh no, she's a big Augie fan.
Oh yeah.
You know.
And Chris is the man.
I'm like, hi, Natasha. She was quiet.
Yes,
she was quiet.
Yeah.
You were talking too much.
Was I?
Yeah.
I think you were talking.
I'm like, can Natasha say something, please? Good Lord. What's up, girl?
Listen, when you go to say what's up to Chris too.
Hi, Chris. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
I talked to him though.
Okay, when you go to
talked to him.
When you go to the website though, bbb.org,
yeah.
you can submit what they call get a quote, which will go to a trustworthy BBB accredited business to give you estimates for any work you need completed at your house.
I mean, like just think about you going to Minnesota for the
Winter Classic
game. Like you want to know where you're staying,
what's up,
where you're going, this, that, and the other.
And if you're coming to St. Louis, dude, you want to know what's up.
Coming to St. Louis, like where am I staying? Coming to St. Louis,
yes. What
like where do I go? Or what's safe?
So like when House of Bucci is asking, like where do I go to get like chicken bar?
No, House of Bucci Zegras.
You just go to the BBB.
Does he just tag whoever he wants to be or something?
I don't know, but like that's
what's wrong with him.
That's what happens. So
you don't have to. You're not him. You're you. You're not you and Zegras. So this your Bucci. That's cool.
Do you watch the Gucci? House of Gucci? What is
Excuse
it?
me?
That TV show.
Excuse
that's out there.
me?
Is it House of Gucci?
No.
The TV show that's out there.
No, Andy.
All right, so you go to the bbb.org.
No,
you can find easy-to-use consumer tips for every situation, like buying a car, Cam, looking for a mortgage, understanding your cell phone contract, and much more.
What?
Yeah.
I spent.
Oh, my God, you need that right now.
Oh, God, BBB, listen to me.
Cam's
$1,500 I spent on 1 month of AT&T. They screwed me bad, dude.
So make a review, dude.
Help me.
Make a review.
Kate was so mad at me, too.
BBB.
It almost ruined our weekend.
BBB. Say it. BBB.
.org,
baby. Welcome to the Cam and Strick family. Hey, listen, everybody out there, like tag BBB. Just say welcome to the podcast.
Tag him.
All right, David Backus. Welcome to the retirement community, man. This guy had a hell of a career, over 900 games. Just a great leader and a warrior too, man. Played through a lot of injuries. And an incredible conversation coming your way now. Enjoy this from the one and only David Backus. The Cam and Strick Podcast is brought to you by CarShield. You know, nothing more frustrating, Cam, than when that engine light comes on and you know right off the bat you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars to repair your vehicle. Call 800-857-2481. Mention the promo code CAM or visit carshield.com and use the code CAM to save 10%. Yeah. That's carshield.com. A deductible may apply. Save yourself money. Sign up and get your coverage now with carshield.com. Now up to the interview. What's up, Bax?
What up?
Living the dream, baby.
We were saying that like the offensive linemen who are like 6'8", 330, and then all of a sudden you see them like a few weeks later, after they retire, They all of a sudden do an interview and then they like shrink and they weigh like
who are
220. You? Like, how are you that big?
Well, it's different because Max, like, you're one or the other. Most guys gain weight or most guys lose it.
Hockey players gain weight.
They gain fucking weight.
Yes, they do.
And you lost weight, so good for you.
Yeah, I'm chasing Kelly on the Peloton, and good genetics, I think, just slim me out.
You're working out?
Yeah, well, riding the Peloton. I really never loved lifting weights, but it was kind of a necessity. So I want to stay in shape, and we posted. Petra was at my house about a week ago, and we were posting things for charity, and somebody commented, Buffalo Head looks like he's losing weight in retirement.
That's what he calls you, nice. Buffalo Head.
Yeah, he's not very kind.
No. I can't believe you took that from him.
He's giraffe neck.
Giraffe neck.
He's got a big neck.
Yeah.
He does got a big neck.
Extra.
You got a big head. So do I. We get that. But so it's
right. All those brains got to go somewhere.
Well, imagine having a neck like that and a head like yours.
Oh, it would fall. It would be a real bobble.
It's a dinosaur.
Yes.
How's Southern California?
It's certainly got its perks, especially this time of year.
Well, you kind of hesitated. Are there bad things about it too, or no?
I mean,
well,
go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
I mean, there's
smog.
There's pros and cons to everywhere. The weather is phenomenal. It's good living. Mm-hmm. The problem is when you have connections like we have here of just people you meet when you're 10 years in one place. Yeah. It's kind of like starting over there. And even in Boston, we were there for 4 years. So you start to get your connections and you have your people. Yep. And now all of a sudden we moved to Southern California in the middle of a pandemic, and then you've got protocols where you can't barely leave your house. Mm-hmm. So even neighbors were starting to meet, and it's kind of like redoing all those, connections and friends and circles that you've had elsewhere. And then there's, our family's in Minnesota. So it's kind of like being on a little bit of like an island, but an island that's really nice and warm and got beaches and things like that around.
When you miss your family, just look at the sunset and the beach, and you're like, you know what?
The neighbors are like, "What's hockey? You play for the who? Who do you play for?
Is that on ice?"
There's perks to that every now and then too. Of just like
being able to go do whatever you want.
Being 6'3" pigeon-toed guy instead of like
with no ass.
How expensive is it? Not that you gotta go get another job, but how expensive is it in California?
It's very expensive. Everything costs a little bit more. Like gas was $5.19 a gallon for the premium. I filled up our truck. I finally figured out how to keep fill-ups to under $100 and just don't let your tank get below half, and then you're good.
Shaq said that, I think, on
TNT
one time. That's what it was. Yeah.
Did you fly here on your own? He's a pilot. He's a pilot.
No, I heard that.
You could never do that.
You
could never do it.
I got vertigo. Can't do it. Remember how I was on the plane? I wasn't good. Remember that?
You still flying?
No. And flying here, you got to get over the Rockies. And I fly pretty much a plane where you need to pedal you need to turn the pedals to get the prop going.
I can't believe you go into those things.
What do you mean?
Well, dude, that's dangerous.
Everything's dangerous.
I'm not going in with I'm not going in a propeller.
It's less dangerous than taking an NHL shift with Cam Jansen on your line.
That's right. I could run into you.
Have you seen Brad Winchester?
Oh my God!
Cam, you bring that up already?
Cam swallowed his tongue.
Oh, my family was there that night.
First game of the year, wasn't it?
Jesus Christ!
Was it the first game of the year?
Yeah, no, it was. It was the first time my wife's family was there, and I get buckled. I was choking on my tongue. It was kind of bad.
Choking on your tongue, choking on your. You ever swallowed a mouth guard? I'm like, no, I've never swallowed a mouth guard.
It was really bad, and then they kept playing it over and over again in the hospital. Oh my God, that was really cool.
How are you feeling though? Like. Because you've had a concussion really maybe or two, right? I mean,
I think I had 10 documented.
Yeah. Oh, really?
No, that was 10? Kind of my, And so, I don't know. Are we into story time or is this still like?
What are we going to do?
Is this pleasantry?
I'm just wondering how you're feeling.
We shoot the shit.
So, my last year in Boston, it was my last year there. I had the one where Danny Sabrin came to hit me, and I stood him up, and he got knocked out, and I got knocked stupid. So he was like bleeding out of his face on the ice, and I was like, I never face like nose. I'm like, I don't know, is this guy going to move again? What's going on? Help this guy. And when he started moving again, okay, he's going to be okay. And then my vision goes blurry. So I'm going, all right. We need to take a step back. It's another concussion, add it to the list. And the team docs, there's protocols in place to keep you safe, and you got to go through all these like, hey, ride the bike. Do you get symptoms back? Start skating. Do you get symptoms back? Get more aggressive, get your heart rate even higher. Do you get symptoms back? So rather than normal protocol, and I probably had symptoms and probably for 2 weeks and still a stiff neck after that. And it was like, they've got their neurological test too, where you get your baseline at camp before you're concussed. And then you got to do the same test and get the same number in order to get back and say, hey, you're fine. And I was like, I've had so many of these. I just want a third party neutral brain doctor to say, hey, you've had 10, but you're good. Or you've had 10 and we need to like take a step back. So I flew to University of Michigan. And I was pretty sure that was the end of my career.
Really?
As I flew
When
there.
was this now? Like
This is November 2019.
Okay.
And so I'm flying there. I'm like, what neurologist in their right mind is going to tell dude who plays hockey that's had 10 concussions documented to keep playing?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what liability does he take on?
He's like, then you can sue me.
Yeah.
After I tell you to go back out there and
like,
take another
hey,
shift.
you're fine. So I'm like, I'm pretty much right in the end of my career. And so I get there and I'm thinking second opinion. I'm going to go there. It's going to be like an hour with this guy who's reviewed my record. And he's going to, I don't know if he's going to give me any tests or whatever, but at the end, he's going to say, hey, don't ever play hockey again. Mm-hmm. You know what? Live the rest of your life. You've got a lot of life ahead of you. So I go there and it starts with like, hey, we're going to put you in your gym shorts and do this medical workup. It was 2.5 days of, we're going to put you on the bike. We're going to bring you in the turf and do all these tennis ball things. We're going to put you on the ping pong table with all these stimulus and just really see where you're at. And MRI that was like HD of my brain, or a CAT scan of my brain that was like an HD CAT scan. And this guy, he goes, there's nothing wrong with your brain.
Really?
They do this tracing.
That must be a nice feeling to hear.
Yeah.
I'd like to go see this doctor.
Yeah.
And just
Please tell me there's nothing wrong with my brain.
Well, you know what?
Well, nothing structurally. There's plenty of stuff that's wrong with me.
Don't you think the team should they should make this type of stuff available? Every player should go get checked out.
I know.
Right. Dr. Kutcher, who's the university, awesome guy. Yeah. And so,
who told you about him? Your agent?
Well, I'd seen him with the NHLPA. He'd done a presentation kind of on concussions as the investigation was starting to evolve of CTE and all this stuff. He was trying to educate the guys at a executive board meeting. So I'd heard of him before. I knew he was on the front line. So I was like, the Bruins had sent other guys to him. So I said, let me get checked out by this guy. And so it's 3 days of this, and they map like how your brain, the neurological, fire, all that stuff that you can't even start to understand. But this guy's really smart about it, and he dumbs it down so you can understand it.
Which is important.
Yes.
How do teams, and we'll move on real quick, but like how do they?
I want to finish my story too.
Oh,
so,
I thought it was
he's
done.
bad at this.
I thought it was done.
Thank you.
Go.
Yeah.
So we go through all this stuff.
Smack you in the fucking head. Go ahead.
We go through all this stuff, and it's like, it's time to hear his like conclusion. And he says, your brain's fine. He goes, there's no like dead spots or gray matter or stuff. Yeah. He goes, I do see some little spots here, but this is consistent with somebody who has migraines. And he goes, your mapping showed somebody, consistent with someone who has migraines too. So let's look at your history, and here's all your documented concussions. And there's ones early in my career where it was like, I know I got banged up, but I'm not coming out of the lineup because I'm trying to put my feet in this league. Yeah. And so we've got 3 days of practice ahead. I'm going to be smart about this. You know what? If it's the day before the game, I'm going to say something if I don't feel good, or morning skate. But up until then, I'm just going to, so there's more that are undocumented. But he said, all of these, your symptom pattern is consistent with a migraine rather than a concussion. Concussion would have different symptomology. The ones you get knocked out, or, your loss of consciousness, probably concussions. These other ones, likely not concussions. I can't say they weren't.
Just got rocked.
Right. Yeah. It's like,
that's what I was going to ask.
If these are high impact incidences that maybe trigger your brain to have a migraine reaction to it.
Do you get migraines?
I had my first one ever maybe 2 months ago when I was doing Legos with my son for like an hour and a half.
That'll
Did
give
step
you a
on one of
migraine.
those goddamn things?
Oh, they're the worst.
Oh, well, there you
Between
go.
that and dog bones, my feet are. Oh.
I got my 2 puppies. We'll get into that later. Let me ask you though, like, how do you feel like as a whole? Like, do you get? Is it weird dreams? Any weird thing?
No, I feel phenomenal.
Me neither. Okay, cool.
So from that, just so I can finish my story, so I don't take up the whole hour. But I left there with like a new lease on life. It was like I had a new hockey life, and rather than being timid going into these contacts of when I was like, this might be my last, physical opportunity on the ice, because if I get another concussion, I'm done. It was like, hey, go play freely. And so I had I felt like I got a second lease on my NHL life. I felt like I got a third lease on life when I was on waivers and kind of in purgatory, thought I was going to get bought out and my career was done. And then Anaheim picked me up. So I'm like, I got another lease. So I feel like I got some time to kind of close out my career and really do things that, as I was like kind of burying my career myself, either medically or just no longer able to perform, I was able to go back and do some of the things that I was like, damn, I wish I would have done that as I was thinking I was done, but then I got to, at least have a little bit more time.
So you prepare in your head, and now you can enjoy every single meeting,
right.
It's like a peace of mind.
Yeah,
man.
now
it's
you know.
Like,
every bag skate that you're like,
who cares?
shit, you know what? There's going to be a time when I don't get to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I'm going to enjoy this. And
But you're still going to lose weight for odd reason.
Oh my God. Did you enjoy hockey the last couple of years?
the last couple of years, I really enjoyed it.
You did.
And part of that, I think, is what I didn't enjoy, I guess, and looking back, I should have enjoyed it more, is kind of that pressure of like performance of like, you had a good night, but tomorrow you got to do it again.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're only as good as your last game, and you got to get back on that horse, and you got to, especially when you have a prominent role in leadership. Now it's like, not only is it judged on your performance, but everyone else's too. So not only are you prepping yourself to get ready for the game, but you're also like, hey, how are the rest of the boys doing? Like, are they focused on this game? Are they, how are we doing? And I think I could have, debriefing my own captaincy, done a lot of things better, but you're doing the best you can with what you got at the moment and trying to, help the team doing.
You had those young kids in Anaheim, though. Like, are you surprised how good these kids? We just had Zegras on with us a few weeks ago, who's like super confident and
His
like,
dad's cool too. Gary.
we've had Getzlaff on with us. Shaddy, obviously, who's there now, but like, Zegras, I mean, you just know. I know how all these USA guys are, especially the younger guys too, the ones that have had success. And you look at the flash that he plays with. You don't play with that level of flash and dazzle without having some confidence in yourself, right?
Exuding confidence. Yeah. But the kid's hands, like he does stuff mid-game that I wouldn't even think about trying in
your driveway.
And he's pulling it in the NHL full speed, between the legs on a breakaway, and I'm like,
faking guys out between his legs.
Oh my God.
No,
but like even when it wasn't even like, he just does it. It's like part of his stick handling. Like it's just how he stick handles the puck. But like Terry, all these guys,
Terry, Drysdale, the NHL is tailor made for those guys right now. Yeah. Like, imagine if someone would have tried that, 10, 15 years ago.
Prongs or somebody.
I mean. It would have been.
It's like the And One mixtape.
His own teammates. His own teammate would have kicked his ass.
Well, you say that, but Datsuk came in and did shit like that. He did. Like, this guy, Datsuk, would do crazy stuff. So, like, we say that.
And Backus would take his head off, too.
I tried, but you couldn't hit the guy.
I know.
I think I got one hit on him in 30 years. I know.
He was so hard to deal with.
Who's the best player he's up there, right?
He wasn't soft either. He had a little bit of, like... He'd throw his ass at you, and you'd be like, you'd think you had him, and all of a sudden you're like, oh,
you couldn't.
in the gut.
Could you get those guys off their game though? Him, Zetterberg.
That was the worst part about Detroit. Yeah. Like, and then they had their little rats and Mulpey and Draper, and like they were like trying to piss you off, and all of a sudden you're not thinking about playing hockey anymore, and then their skill guys are just. Then you're in the box, cross-checking Holmstrom, and they score on the power play, and they're giggling all the way home with their win, and you're like...
Well, that's my point, though. Like, they still did that, too, and there's some big, tough defensemen back then. So, I don't know, man. Like, these guys are just really, really good. Like, they just know how to separate. I know. They're still hitting in hockey,
But not like it... I mean, I again... digesting my own career, I think I benefited from my first 5 years when we weren't very good of being in St. Louis. Typically, remember, games weren't even televised. A St. Louis Columbus game on a Wednesday might not have even been on TV.
It's after duck hunting on Versus.
Right.
Remember?
So I would probably have a flagrant penalty sometime during the game, but no one cared. Mm-hmm. No one made a big stink out of it. There wasn't social media blowing it up. And so I probably got away with 6-8 suspensions, I think, early in my career.
Yes, you did.
Because nobody cared. Nobody cared when the Blues played Phoenix, and
I know
it went crazy.
How many times
for a
did
little
you
bit.
get suspended? Twice?
Twice.
He crushed guys. Andy.
Oh, I know he did. I know.
With or without the puck.
I know.
How-
Late, too.
Really late.
I can vividly...
I know.
I can vividly remember your first NHL game because I was actually on the trip with the Blues in Pittsburgh. And I remember, true story, Andy Murray calls me and he says, we're calling up David Backes. I'm like, oh. So I put it on like the internet, the blog.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, I go down to the bar, like, and everybody's like, how'd you know that? And like, I'm like, Andy called me. So JD is fucking furious. Ooh. He is so mad. Why would you put that up there? We should release that. I'm like, Andy called me and told me. He's like, oh. So then Andy Murray completely denies it. He tells JD that
I think you
he
were
didn't
lying.
tell you.
Oh,
I think you're lying.
He told JD he didn't tell me. I said, Andy, how could you say you didn't tell me? He's like, I told you not to write that. I'm like, no, you didn't. Why were you calling me and telling me? So anyway, we got through that, and then I think you got an assist on your first shift, didn't you?
Yeah, and we won the game. It was like the Blues had lost 11 in a row before that. And
07?
Oh, my God.
It was...
Was that still
Dark
bad? Yeah, bad. Because I remember playing you guys in 06. I don't know if you were up then. Obviously not. When there was 13,000 people there, I was with Devils. But then 07 was a little bit better. But then Come Grow With Us came around with Osh and everybody.
Turn it over to the kids.
Turn it over to the kids, yeah. They were fun to handle, eh?
Hey, of all those guys, who did you think would go on to have the best career? Like, I mean, Oshie, Perron, Eric Johnson, all these guys. I mean, they're all still playing, right?
Yeah, it's an impressive group of guys that we had at those times. I mean, I was playing with Jay McClement and Lee Stempniak, and it was like, these guys, I mean, Lee Stempniak, what a steal in the 6th round and the career he had. And he was actually in Boston when I was there, and he was practicing with the team and like coming to work out, just hoping to get a new gig. And I think they ended up signing him, but I was like, you deserve a dedication to hockey award for what he was like. He was doing all the BS work, not getting into games.
I think he played 900 games or something like that. I remember like Pierre McGuire just crushing him at the trade deadline one time, saying like he's been an all-out failure in Toronto. And I wrote this story. I'm like, how are you going to call this guy who's drafted in the 5th round, who the only reason he got drafted is because St. Louis went to scout his teammate at Dartmouth or whatever. And they were like, oh, this guy's pretty good too. So we'll take this guy. And, he's had, at that point in time, he had a couple 20-goal seasons, whatever, and he had played like 500-600 games at the time. I'm like, you're going to call this guy a failure?
Right.
Yeah. Very cheap,
not
though.
a failure to
Remember
me.
I told you
he's one of the best people ever, though, is he not?
I mean,
he was looking
intelligent.
for that 8-hour haircut one night in Vancouver.
Very intelligent.
Yes.
Well, did you ever find anybody like who were your closest? Like, because you, like hockey, you're a hockey player, but you have like a lot of other interests. You're very smart. You're very intelligent. Weren't you like a mechanical engineer or something? Electrical engineer. So,
what's that mean?
Like your interests. Well, we'll talk about it. Your interests spread beyond just hockey. Like who were you able to connect with at that level as a player with a teammate?
I think I took more of like I don't want to say mentor or like father figure, but I felt like there were more like times when I would, in being involved with the PA and just trying to gather information and then trying to disseminate it to some of the guys, because some of those things are really boring and long, and guys have, attention spans that are only so long, where I'm kind of a nerd. And if it's sit there for 2 hours to listen to something, I'm willing to do it and then give guys cliff notes. So I think it was more of that sort of relationship with a lot of guys of like, how was a call? Okay, I can tell you in 5 minutes what the 2-hour call was, rather than you having to spend 2 hours doing it too.
So you and Kinger didn't sit down and talk about the business.
We talk about farming and
you and Walt,
horses.
Big Walt, when you were living at Big Walt's house.
Yeah. That was just, he made me put restock the fridge with the waters. That's all I remember.
How good? What do you tell people, like teammates? If people say, "What was it like playing with Big Walt?" Like, what's your response?
Big Walt's a guy that, he didn't take any grief as long as you had respect for him. I think he was all in for you to help you out. And for me, I think for whatever reason he liked me. I think there's some older guys that
You're American.
Yeah, see, guy, I was kind of his understudy, whether he saw that or not. Of like, I want that was what I wanted to be if everything worked out for me, was to be kind of like Big Walt. And he played a lot longer than I did, but go to the net front, and so he could have been threatened by me and giving me a hard time. Instead, he took me under his wing and really helped me out to like learn some of the things that I needed to learn about the game. And outside of maybe an elbow to my chops in my first training camp, there was
he'll do that.
Yeah, and I think he was kind of testing me to say, is this kid for real and tough, or is he a little punk? And one of these.
You're going to take over as a leader.
He did that to Perry too. Remember,
yes, he did.
In training camp.
Yeah.
Perry had the puck too much, and he didn't like it.
But I think he probably wasn't the only one. But I mean,
he was
but like
good to all of us.
As a young guy, you come in because there were still some veteran guys, even though you were part of that young group that was coming in to take the organization to the next level. Like there were still some guys who had been around who were still here.
Oh yeah, I mean, my first room I walked into was Dallas Drake and Eric Brewer and Garen Kachuk, Doug Waite. Like, what a group to learn from. And so those guys, even though I think their best days were probably a little bit behind them, even guys like Radek Dvorak that is quiet but does things the right way and were great pros that you could learn from those guys. Dan Heinold, a guy that, underskilled for, bottom 10% of the league for skill, but for will and heart size was in the top, 1/10 of 1%. And to see a guy like that and the success he had, all of a sudden you start to put it together of like, and truthfully, my first couple of years, I thought I was going to have to, I took my visor off for a little while because I'm like, I'm going to have to fight a lot more, and I don't want to take my bucket off. I'm just going to take the visor off. And thankfully, I didn't have to go that way because I wasn't cut out for it. But I was like, whatever I have to do to stay here, I'm willing to do it because life's good in the NHL.
Well, you murder guys, too. They're going to get pissed.
Right. When you crush Ed Jovanovski behind the
You're
net.
playing 20 minutes a fucking night, and you're murdering guys.
Yeah.
Like, Kinger can't come out. I can't do. You're going to have
Unfortunately,
to. I know. That's the way it goes. Because Jovo's going to have to fight you. It's not Bugard coming, So
well, it's Jovo and Derek Morris chasing you back up the ice, and you're like,
I got to do something.
Which guy am I going to take? And both would have been a loss and were.
But you did it, though.
Yeah. And I think that's the battle.
There's some things you had to take care of, and you did it.
And Kinger taught me all that. He's like, if you bitch out on all these opportunities to stand, even if you lose every fight, be willing to do it. And now those guys will respect you more, and you're willing to answer the bell. And I was like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. And then all of a sudden it was like, guys, stop asking you because you're going to say yes.
I know, because they don't want to do it.
They don't.
They don't want to get hit, and they don't want to have to go and get off for 5 minutes, and they might throw their shoulder out. They might fall weird. You're strong. You're fucking big.
Even if they punch you in the face, they might break their hands.
And you just hit them,
So if they know you're going to say yes, then
they stop asking.
They stop asking.
Funny how that works.
That's interesting.
DJ King, by the way, when I say Kinger, just so
people who don't know.
Love him.
Dwight King's brother.
Oh, God, Dave, love
he would tell
Kinger.
stories. His mom would be like,
Kinger.
why don't you just if you had hands like Dwight.
Dwight and Dwayne.
Yeah.
That's their name. Dwight.
Did you like being a captain? Like,
I loved it.
Is there a level of pressure that ever gets uncomfortable with being the captain, though? Like, there's so much demand on you.
I mean, it's certainly extra, and I would say the worst part is like if you're not having success as a team, it's like after every loss, it's the goalie, the captain, and maybe one other guy.
I know, and
it's like. I'm like, how many times can I answer the same stupid questions? And I've always said too, one day I want to have I want to have an unfiltered day of answering questions because everything you got to be politically correct and you got to put on this little filter of like, you want to know what I'm really thinking right now because if I let you know, it's going to create a turd storm. But I'm going to filter it, give you what the company line is, and we'll deal with it in the room. But there's some days where it's like I just want to let you have it. Of like
what?
That's a stupid question.
Give me an example of something. Like, is there something that you remember that you're like, God, I wish I could have said something, but I just couldn't at the time.
a lot of, and I'm not blaming them, but goalies are insulated so much in the NHL where one or two soft goals in a game is the difference between a lot of wins and losses. And so if you got out goaltendered in a game, obviously you still can't, even if everyone in the room knows that, you can't lean on that in your, well, we've pretty much matched them and our goalie let a soft one in and theirs made a couple unbelievable saves. That can't be your answer. That's off limits in the NHL for whatever reason, because the goalie's softer, you want to protect him. That's an example. The other example would be like, guys, like, and this is part of when I said being better as captain. Like, I was kind of, like I said, a nerd where I always towed the line and said, I want to give myself the best chance to be successful in the game, or, take care of my body extra so that I can, and truthfully, when you're playing 20 minutes a night and you're a big dude and you're trying to play physical, there's not a lot of extra energy to go expend, whether that's in practice or extra workouts, or where I think I failed was going out with the guys and creating more of that like team bonding experience. But I also felt like if I'm going out even to have 2 or 3 beers, I'm not as good tomorrow as if I was, if I just stayed in, got to bed early and took care of myself. That being said, it costs us a little bit on like the team bonding side of things. And I should have found a better happy balance of that. And I admit that. But what I was saying is that in my post-game interview, if I knew there was a group of 3 or 4 guys that went out last night and went out hard, you smell them in morning skate, and those guys suck tonight, I also can't be candid and be like, well, if those guys would have taken care of themselves last night, we would have had a better, these 4 guys would have been better and not had, being seen double up there.
Is that the case a lot?
Not a lot, but
sometimes you're like,
Yeah.
And truthfully, you know what? I'm not innocent in that, but I'm saying, you know what? There's also guys that were better, like I think he's cleaned up his act a lot. But there are times when he would go out and he would be the best player the next night, and you're like, I don't know how you're doing that.
Well, I used to say that about Oshie all the time, though. Like, if you come to practice the next day, you're the best player on the ice. You're the hardest working player on the ice. It's a non-issue.
That was early in his career. He was he was learning how to be a pro.
It only becomes an issue when you like miss practice and oversleep or whatever. Now all of a sudden it draws attention to.
And sometimes
whatever.
when you got 15 hot girls on you all night long, you feel good the next day by yourself.
So now he's a family man with.
He's a family man.
Oh my God,
he's
the best, man. He's the best.
The way it was.
But it's interesting you bring up that dynamic because it's like you got a lot of it's an NHL dressing room. There's a lot of alpha males in there, right? So there's pressure to be like one of the boys, but there's also the pressure from the team side, management, coaching staff, to be the leader that they need you to be, right? I mean, it's like you got to find that balance. It's hard to do, isn't it?
It's really hard to do, and I, in my mind, was doing it the right way and to the best of my ability. I think there's, again, debriefing my time, I think I could have been better, and I tried to bring that to Boston a little bit when I obviously did that after I left here of like, how could I have done that better as a support guy, now knowing what, Bergeron and Char were up against, to say, hey, how can I help you with being, a next level of guys, support what you're doing, but also have a better pulse and be with the group a lot more, playing less minutes and having a lesser role. You can, I think, partake in that a lot more.
If you had to do it all over again, would you leave St. Louis?
Oh, good question.
I don't have any regrets leaving. I made my decision with all the information that I had. Would I have loved to have been part of a team that won a cup here?
Because they made you an offer, right? Just to be clear, right? The Blues did make you an offer to stay.
Yeah, they wouldn't move off 4 years. If they would have moved to 5 years at any number, I think there was a deal to be made. There was no option for a 5th year.
So it was more about term than dollars.
Yeah.
And you got for people who don't know, you got 5 years, $6 million per year from Boston. And if I'm right, the offer from St. Louis was at like around 5.3, something like that, right? At 4 years.
4 years. Okay. So do the math. It's a
lot of money on the table.
It's $9 million difference, and so it's not an insignificant amount of money. Money's not everything. It was a time in the it was like, okay, and I think if you look at most deals for guys that are going to return to their team, if they're going to get extensions, it's done before the new year. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not left until after playoffs. And it was like, that was our best year we'd had. We'd finally broken through Chicago in Game 7. We get to the Western Conference Finals. We kind of ran out of gas against San Jose. But it was like, we made a step here. And I talked with Troy Brower a little bit a couple days ago. And it's like, if that group could have had a couple more whacks at it, we think we had, the nucleus to what would have won a cup there. It happened a couple years later in 19 anyway. But so to answer your question directly, if I could do it again, I think the same decision was laid out in front of me. And again, there was a lot of learning that I had through that process because I was no longer the guy and you had to be a support guy. Your role, I had a pretty nice gig here being kind of like where I was at with the team and you got your equity with everybody.
Fan base.
Right.
Man, dude.
All of a sudden you got to start over. Yeah. And
with a group that had, who's established and whatever, right? Big boys over there.
And truthfully, I was going to Boston and I'm like, Boston, I didn't think they would have been interested even looking at their depth chart. You got Bergeron and Krejci, both right-handed centermen. You're going to put another right-handed centerman behind them. Like, who's going to take draws on the left side? So they were interested. I was like, you know what? Pedigree of winners, original six. They're going to do things right. And
they were an elite team at the time.
So
right?
there's a lot that goes into the decision.
Were you ever close to going anywhere else? Who else showed interest?
Many had showed interest. Montreal had showed interest. It just never materialized.
Can I say something about that $9 million? That's a lot of saved puppy dogs. Just so all y'all
That's a lot of spays and neuters.
Okay?
Yeah.
Just so all y'all know. He's saving like puppy dogs, and you know how I am with all that.
Okay, so the biggest challenge of going to Boston was what? Because you mentioned Chara, Bergeron, all these guys, man, Marchand. I mean, big time personalities. Did you think right off the bat like, this is going to be a great fit, or were you like, this is going to be a challenge?
As far as group of guys, one of the best groups of guys in the room that I've been a part of. I think the challenge was, for me, more family oriented. Not in that it was a bad place for families to live. It was just more of comforts and connections that we had here, where those people don't like. My air conditioner broke. I had a guy that I would text him personally who owned the company, and he would send a guy out, like take him off whatever job he was like.
Oh, geez, Bax, that's kind of gutless. It's probably an old lady is trying to fix it, and she's sweating her ass off.
Yeah, but so is
especially when you're especially when you're on the road, right?
Right.
And your wife's got all of a sudden she's like, okay, we just got 2 feet of snow. Yeah. I can't get out of the driveway.
Told the old lady to open her freezer and stand in front of it. Yeah. No, so. I think all those connections from babysitters and, just friends for Kelly to like, and all those things that you have when you live in one place for a long time, those comforts don't go with you. And, also the culture of like, we're Midwest, we're from Minnesota. We went, south 8 hours and we're still with similar mindseted people. Now you're in the East Coast, busy city, and it's a lot more dog eat dog kind of culture out there. So you take your family from their comforts and all their, things that they know of St. Louis and you put them in Boston suburbs. And now it's like,
and you're Midwest people anyway.
Sorry, honey, but I'm going to the rink. You know what? Can you furnish the house and watch the kid or
go drive around in that atmosphere compared to here? Everything's different. Going to the grocery store is chaotic. Yes. Everything's chaotic.
It's like a little more cramped and in your face, and nobody like smiling at you to say hi. It's like just breeze past you. I got somewhere to be, and it's like, oh my God, I want you all to be happy. Sorry, I'm going to the rink again, or I'm going on another road trip, and I'll be back. And so, I really felt that as like a family pressure of like, we left. It's not just me going to play hockey somewhere else. It's everyone uprooting and going somewhere else. And thankfully our daughter was a year and a half old. So it wasn't terrible for her to change places, but it's, that was probably the most difficult because the guys were incredible Charles pulled me aside the first day I was at the rink and he's like, in his accent, like, if you see anything or whatever you think needs to be done, don't hesitate, just do it. Really? And you're not stepping on toes. And I'm like, okay.
Because how do you go from being the captain, kind of running to all of a sudden, when you're still, you got to Boston, you're still in the prime of your career, right?
Yeah.
You can still play. Well,
maybe on the other side.
Right.
Of it,
but you know what I'm saying? You weren't 35 years old, but you also know you can play, but so how do you know how do you know what you can and cannot say? Like, is that difficult?
Yeah. And I think that was the tough part was seeing like, I thought I was going to go there, and playing against Boston was miserable all the time. And it was like, I'm going to finally get to see
Except when you score like with less than a second left at one time.
That's fun. And then we went in the shootout.
Were you on that team? They came from, he scored.
I don't know.
They had like a rush. I think Koliakovo had the puck. They came up ice. They scored it like with under a second left to like tie it. Then you guys won the shootout.
Andy remembers every fucking game. I can't do it.
We get hit in the head too much.
I can't do it.
Cam, you were on the ice,
did I
okay?
score? No. They didn't put it like
It was the last minute. We were down one.
He was not on the ice. He was not on the ice.
I remember that game from 08.
But a great win for you guys in Boston.
Right. So
did Osh knock somebody out in overtime with a reverse hit?
On Krejci by the penalty box.
I have a memory.
Were you on the team?
Yes, I was.
You were there, okay.
So to answer questions, going there, I thought I was going to get to see this final glimpse of, or finally get to see like the secret sauce the Bruins had of like, they're miserable to play against. They're, just want to, well, they didn't just want to, they won it in 11. So a lot of those guys have still been there. It's only 2016 or 17. So it's only been 5 or 6 years. Finally get to see that secret sauce. And I got there, I'm like, where's the secret sauce? Like, if there's anything, how hard like Marchand and Chara will battle each other in a practice, just a random. It's like they're going like those guys have motors and they don't give up any ice. And to me, I'm like, big dude, I want to save it for tomorrow. Let's like get out here, feel the puck. We'll do it. And those guys are going as hard as you can. But then there was other things of just like, and I think it's a little bit of the organizational mindset with some like Sweeney and Cam Neely, old school guys of like, you know what, we're going to have an old school mentality, but like just some of the amenities that the guys needed or should have as like kind of basic standards for the NHL. It was just kind of a work in progress and the team provided them, but it was like, as a leadership group, we need to meet more and like, just, I feel like there's some secretarial work that I'm decent at being type A personality of like, we should be meeting every week or every 2 weeks just to, and if it's a 5-minute meeting, that means we got nothing to talk about. Things are going great, but it could be an hour long of like, from everything from scheduled team parties to, who's dealing with taking care, make sure the wives are taken care of. Somebody who's, talking about practices to the coaches or whatever else, community, events and trying to organize those and trying to make them better for the next year, things like that, that I just think we needed a little bit more, togetherness on those things. And we ended up doing it. And, we were in the finals in 2019. Just, yeah.
Why did it end the way that it did? Like how crazy was that? Like, explain what happened. Like, did they literally tell you to stay home? We're going to try to find a trade for you.
Worse than that.
And we'll let you know, like, if we do.
It was, so I wasn't playing. I had played, 16 games, and that was the year I had the concussion. So I went to see Kutcher in November. So I had some time on the IR too. So it wasn't like I was available the whole year, but there was also times when it was like, I'm available, put me in, coach, I'm ready to play. And I wasn't playing. So finally, I think they made the organizational decision, like, you're no longer going to be part of this group. And so they called me in and said, hey, you know what? We're going to put you on waivers and, what are your plans? And I was like, what do you mean? What are my plans? Like,
Who's telling you this, the GM or the coach?
I don't really want to play in the minors. Like, I don't feel like that's, I don't want to go to Providence and they're like, well, that's good because we don't really want you to go there either. We'll look for a trade for you. And if, we don't find anything, we'll probably buy you out this summer. All right. Well, not exactly what I want to hear, but I thought my career was over. But who knows? You still got a trade deadline coming up. So they didn't want me to go to Providence. I was no longer on the team. So it was like a week or two. And I'm like, you know what? I'm thinking about this more. If someone picks me up and I'm just sitting at home, I'm going to be a bag of turds when this new team gets me. Right. And I want to be a good player to prolong my career.
You're going to be skinny.
Right. Skinny like I am now. And all I'm good for is holding a mic and yapping at it. So I was like, let me come to the Bruins rink when the guys aren't there and let me work out, let me use the ice and let me at least stay in decent. I'll be a better asset for you if somebody wants me to, trade. And they said, well, no. And then I said, well, let me go to Providence then. I don't need to play games. Let me just go there and practice. I'll commute.
Hang out with the guys.
Yeah. Let me stay in shape so that, again, if someone trades for me, I'm serviceable.
Right.
No, we don't want you to do that. And we also don't think that you should work out or skate on your own because we don't want you hurt if we want to buy you out.
God.
So I had 6 weeks of being told not to work out or skate. Or then you don't know, like, okay, so I do it on my own and I get hurt somehow skating on my own. Are they going to pay me? Because your then you might have breached your contract. You got hurt outside the confines of the team activity. So I was like lifting in my basement with like jugs of kitty litter as like, I didn't have workout facilities at home. So I was doing my best. And truthfully, I was at a Christian conference actually because I was doing nothing. So they called me and they're like, hey, there's an NFL. It's called Professional Athletes Outreach in San Diego. Do you want to come for, a couple days and just see what this is all about? So I flew to San Diego. I'm at this Christian conference and I'm like, trade deadline's in 10 days.
Was Cam there too? Did you run into Cam at the conference?
Week. Well, I was hosting the one next week.
Yeah, he was getting ready for his speech. He was doing his preparation.
It's not funny, Andy.
So I was there and it was like the last day and I'm like, you know what? I'm at peace with this. My career's over. They're going to buy me out. And you know what? I got to figure out what's next for me. And that morning I got a call from my agent. He's like, so I got a call and there's a team interested to trade for you. And I'm like, well, I better get working out because they don't know what they're getting.
You're 130 right now.
And he goes, and I'm like, wow, who is it going to be? Like, am I going to like
the Peg?
Right. Winnipeg or like Ottawa, who's not very good at like, is that something I want to put my family through? Cause I already experienced it to Boston. Now we're going to go to cold middle of Canada. I don't know what that means for my kids now. And he's like, it's, they still think you got game in you and they want you to lead some of their younger guys. And, what Anaheim thinks you can play. And I'm like, oh, you know what? Southern California, like worst case.
Your wife, that's like perfect for her though, right?
Yeah.
Kelly's like, Anaheim.
Perfect place for her to live.
$15 smoothies and yoga on the beach.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Anaheim. Yeah.
So I'm like, worst case, they're in a warm climate. And, if I'm on the road, they'll be fine. And so we jumped in and I think I flew right back to Boston and the guys at the arena, I said, I need to skate before I go, at least once. Mm-hmm. It's been 6 weeks. I got to skate. And so the guys let me have the ice at like 6 a.m. the next morning at Warrior. And Adam McQuaid came out with me and we threw it around for a little bit. And I'm like, here I go. And I got to Anaheim and Bob Murray says, hey, you're a pro. Let us know when you're getting close. We know, you haven't been doing a whole lot. And I'm like, actually nothing. And he's like, let us know. And so, it was like a week of skating and lifting. And I'm like, I'm like as good as I'm going to get just hanging out here. So I need to get in game action. Let me know, or I'm ready. Put me in. And so I think I played 6 games before COVID shut everything down. And then, yeah.
Did you, how would you explain your relationship or describe your relationship like with Bruce Cassidy? Like, did you guys get along? Did he give you a fair chance? Like, how do you look at it?
We had different views of how hockey should be played. I think, he was a smaller puck-moving defenseman, and I, tried to eat smaller puck-moving defensemen. So I was more of, the mentality of Blues hockey, traditional Bruins hockey of like, let's get it in and not let them get it out until they're fishing out of the back of the net. Like, let's go low to high, pound it to the net. I'll see you there, and we'll jam it home. Mm-hmm. And he wanted, controlled through the neutral zone and carried over the blue line and look for the play. And I'm like, I think we could have communicated more of like what he was looking for, because I tried to adapt. Like, I tried to lose weight to try to keep up more with the play. In hindsight, I might have just said, hey, I am who I am. You're not going to make, I'm more of a hammer than I am, a power drill. Like, I am who I am. I'm going to be the best version of myself. And hopefully you can use me, mucking in the corners and getting to the front.
Did he want everybody to do that? Doesn't everybody have their own role, every line? Like, what?
But you look at my type of player that's been through there. It's just kind of been like, you know what, not happy with it.
Yeah.
I see. And rightfully so, because they've had, it's been a good team, but it just never saw eye to eye of like, I'm even if one-on-one, it's likely going behind that defenseman. I'm daring him to go back for the puck because I'm going to hopefully destroy him, and then I'll get the puck below the goal line that way rather than try a one-on-one move. It's not going to work. He's going to take it from me and send it back up the ice.
And your previous coaches, they love that about you, right? That's exactly what they wanted other players to kind of play more of a North game and whatever.
Right. And so not happy with the way I was doing things, ice time, production, dwindle, and now your excess spare parts rather than integral.
Did any of your teammates ever say, like, this is not fair, like, what they're doing to you? Like, did anybody, like, I mean, all those veteran guys, like, Chara Bergeron, everybody knows who they are. Were they ever like, hey, this is bullshit?
Yeah.
Like, why are you treating this guy like this?
They did express that to me, but, I think there's also a stance of like, is it their place to go into the coach's office and be like, what's going on? Why, he's part of, and part of what I evolved to was I was playing much less, 10 minutes a night. So now I'm on the bench for 50 minutes of the game. I'm still going to try to rah, and be important while I'm sitting on the bench and try to pep everyone up and keep the life on there and keep guys going and pick them up. So that's what I turned more into later in my career, but felt like I could be effective, doing that as well.
A little off topic, but like, were you surprised when all that stuff came out about Bob Murray? Like, had you seen that side of him or no?
I hadn't. I don't know if that was more front office culture. I was there for all of COVID time. I mean, 6 games worth of pre-COVID, and then it was shut down, and then the next season was all of the COVID isolation. So, it was.
They offer you a job to stay with the organization?
They did have interest for, me to do something with the team, and Army reached out as well. I just think Kelly and I had planned to do kind of a honeymoon year of like, let's get to know each other again. Because I'm going to be around.
You're going to be a GM, dude.
Less,
that's how
you know that.
I mean, just going to say it.
You're going to be a GM. If you want to be, you're going to be. That's what you're going to do. And I've known that about, because some guys just have it, right?
Yeah.
And you've always been like, even when you signed your big contract here in St. Louis, before you signed your next contract where you left, like just the way you thought out the process, the comps, what you felt like you should. You were kind of beyond your years in terms of how you analyze the business side of it. Would you want to do that?
Call me a nerd.
Yeah,
that's fine.
It's okay.
I'm a nerd. Yeah.
No, but it was.
I think
you're cool looking.
But impressive. But would you want to? Is that something you'd want to do?
At that level, I think that is interesting to me. Again, part of the reason I didn't take any jobs with the Ducks or the Blues was my first objective in being retired is to be present with my 2 young kids, because you only have that time for so long. And I feel like I've missed so much of that, of milestones or birthdays or dance performances. It's like my daughters had one because of COVID and I wasn't there because I was on the road. And so I've never seen my daughter do a dance performance.
Dude,
and
we say that to everybody.
And when I get home on Saturday, she's going to have a dance performance.
Chill.
And I'm going to have a lawn chair front and center. Yeah.
Look what you just got done doing. Like chill and sit back and like look at reality and life and your kids and then decide later on.
That's objective one. And GM, is obviously a lot more work than being pro scout, amateur scout, director of player development.
No,
so
it's a process.
Time commitment. And if I'm going to do something, the way Kelly and I work is we're doing it 150%, and there's no 50% efforts on anything. So for now, it's not the right fit. When my kids are full-time school and maybe driving themselves around, then we can figure that out.
Here's what you do.
Oh, here we go.
Now, here's what you do.
You get in the radio.
You be a president, and you hire the GM under. You do the JD model.
I like that.
That's what you do.
I like that.
And then you can kind of like...
You help me mold my resume so that I can submit
So
them.
you're in the mix, and you
get to do media appearances and smooth things over, and
you also can go to. You don't have to miss dance recitals for that. You can still go to those if you want to go to those, and you're in the mix.
But
you get that adrenaline rush.
He wants to be hands on.
You still are though.
But I don't know.
I'm just telling you.
We're telling you what you're going to be.
So, I appreciate that.
All right. The Cam Strick Podcast is brought to you by Bellman and Bellman.com. BEHLMANN.com. Get out there to Detroit, Missouri. Check it out. On one side, you got the Buick, the GMC, options for everybody. Then right across the street, you got the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Again, find something that works for you and get yourself a new set of wheels in time for the winter. Now, back to the interview. Listen, you're a career super accomplished, whatever, Olympics 2 times over, NHL All-Star, 2-time 30-goal scorer. Like, I mean, you accomplished a lot. You scored a lot of goals.
Somehow.
Crush guys.
Come on, Andy.
Okay, but the Chicago series, who said wakey wakey? Who was that?
Duncan Keith.
You.
It was Keith. Did you hear him say that? Like when you're on the ice? And was it ever talked about on the ice after that? Like, did you ever have words?
Well, there's more to this story that's never come out.
Okay. That's why we asked.
Yeah.
So earlier, I don't know if it was in the series or maybe one of the last regular season games, power play, I'm in front of the net. One-timer hits me in the side of the boot and breaks my big toe. Mm-hmm. So every game of that series, I'm getting injections on my big toe, which is pretty important if you think about your foot anatomy to help you, especially in a skate. And so I'm getting injections on my big toe, and it was just a little crack in the bone, which doesn't feel good, but the injection helps numb it. So games 1 and 2, I play and get through it. No big deal. I think it was game 3. Maybe it was game 2 that the hit happened. Mm-hmm. But so I get hit from Seabrook. You know, he gets whatever, a couple game suspension. The whole wakey thing happens, and we go in. You know, obviously I'm trying to figure out if I'm still smart or got a lot dumber in that instance, and they x-ray my toe, and now it's a displaced fracture. So I'm not only dealing with like my neck and am I okay with my head, but now my toe's all not where it's supposed to be. And so they're still not wanting to do surgery. And it's like, we don't know if you're going to be able to play again based on your toe or your neck or head or whatever. So symptoms go away rather quick with my head and neck. So I was fine there. You know, I don't, maybe it would have been called a concussion, maybe not, but my toe was the thing that was really screwed up. So it was like tears and in a Gatorade bucket full of ice with a little bit of water in it, just trying, and it was miserable. But I thought I was done for the playoffs, and I think I came back in game 6 or 7, and there was we tried everything. We tried, you know, the little turf toe things football players wear, trying to get that in a skate, because your skate, while it's supportive, also doesn't have much room to stuff things in there because it's a rigid toe cap. Like we tried wider toe cap, all these things, and we went to somebody made me a footbed here, an insole, and so I went there and I'm like, this is the toe, and I brought my skates, and it looked like a Dr. Scholl's, but they had put all these different foams in there to relieve all pressure from my big toe and put it elsewhere or whatever they did. And I literally put my skate on with that. Like the guy handed it to me. I'm like, I could have got an insole like this at Foot Locker, and like, what a waste of time. But I put it in there, and it was like, it wasn't even, I was like, this is magical voodoo, whatever you did. Dude. So I played, whenever I came back, I think I had an oral painkiller or something like that I was playing on, but I didn't have any injections in my toe when I came back, and it was like, I'm a new man. I'm able to play again. By then, the momentum of the whole series had turned, but yeah, it was more my toe keeping me out than it was my head later in that series.
Isn't it weird sometimes? You could get, in hockey, it's weird. Sometimes you could skate on injuries where you can't even walk.
Yeah.
You know, your knee, sometimes your toe.
Yep.
But God, hurting your toe like that. Just think about when you're skating, how much pressure you have to push. Oh, Lord. But that little, just something.
Little insole. It was like.
It's crazy.
Genius. However they fixed it. People like Chicago fans think that really makes me butthurt, and it kind of did for a little while. The next time I saw a sign was in Phoenix, actually. Somebody had a wakey Bacchus in warm-ups.
In Phoenix?
And I was pissed. Screw this guy. I scored 4 that night.
Oh.
And we won, and I was like,
That's how you do it.
I'm like,
you look at him like, what's up?
That's
now,
how you
baby?
do it.
well, the sign didn't show up after. I had a couple in the back of the net.
What's it like playing in the Olympics with guys that you really don't like? I mean, and I don't even know if you like Kessler. Now, we had Kessler on with us and whatever. You guys, arguably the top 2 or 3 two-way centermen at one point in the game for a good 3-year, 5-year stretch, whatever. Then you guys are on the same team. You guys battled big time too on the ice. Like, what was that like? You get to the Olympics and you're playing, with these guys that you battle with all the time.
There's a healthy respect there that transcends, I think, the anger or the, we've never fought on the ice, but there's a healthy respect there. And all of a sudden you're like throwing a USA jersey on. It's like, I don't care. We're all fighting for this jersey now. Yeah. Screw whatever had happened in the past. But I don't think there's anybody, Kessler's a guy that his personality might he's just quieter and goes about his ways, and he's, kind of sees things a little more black and white, but very quiet. But when you're playing, it was like, I want that guy on my team. That guy helps me win games. I don't care, maybe Patrick Kane of a guy that, you've hated because he's playing for the team in Illinois, but like, he's good. You want him on your team to help you win. And all he cares about is trying to help your team win. So there really wasn't anybody where you're like, I just can't stand that guy.
No.
Like, none of that.
You're fighting all the Canadians, though. Remember, he fought all the Canadians, like 3 games. Cam doesn't remember anything. No, he fought Taves. He fought Nash. Who was the other one?
I was on a team.
Corey Perry.
Oh, you fought Corey Perry.
Yeah.
Too.
But the thing is that I love how that's blown up, and it might have been like after 2, it was like starting to hit storylines. I'm like, oh, what the hell? Like, who's on the next team? It was Corey Perry. So
let's go.
And there was, I think we played Minnesota. I'm like, I don't really have any of the Canadians, but like Mikko Koivu maybe. But to me, it was like
Zach.
Those guys were finally fighting me.
He's from Finland, by the
like
way.
I tried to fight.
Number 9's already retired.
I tried to fight Jonathan Taves a lot because that's how I beat Jonathan Taves. Like I needed to have him think about things that weren't hockey related and worry about me crushing him whenever he touched the puck way more than, okay, I'm going to poke check the puck or toe drag him. That's just not going to work.
Let me ask you something about, sorry, Andy, I know you're
You're good.
Dustin Byfuglien.
Yeah.
Dealing with him. He just showed up finally in Winnipeg. You see
his tribute?
Oh, my God. He's like, hi.
For Blake
his
Wheeler.
head would barely fit on the Jumbotron.
And you got to know Blake pretty well, too.
Blake,
right?
too.
Both of them, yeah.
Dustin was hard to deal with when he was fucking going, wasn't he?
Oh,
Jesus.
He was a truck. He's one of 3 guys I just stopped trying to hit because you'd go to hit him and he'd put you flat on your back and like then he'd look around for like what hit him or what bumped him, and you'd be like,
I know.
I thought you didn't even see me, and I was going to crush you, and down I went. And I think I got him once when he was in Winnipeg. He like dumped a puck in. He was on one leg, and I put him to the ice, and I was like, finally, I got him. Like,
Cam put Chara on his ice. Only time I've ever seen it.
He's one of the other guys I stopped trying to hit.
Chara, he was lanky, so you hit him weird too, and his elbow would always kind of come up.
Yeah,
Prongs was kind of tough, man.
Yeah, he crushed me once.
But Byfuglien had that meat on him to where like you'd hit him and he'd put you down so bad where like your intestines would be fucked up. Or
he would not only put you down, but like make you feel shame in the same breath, and you'd be like, stick check that guy from now on.
Just let him go.
And he could go. He could move. So it's not like you were like, oh, I'll catch him or sneak up on him. It was like
he had the puck all the damn game.
And when he's a forward in Chicago, like who was going to move him from the front of the net?
Like, because you're on the team, obviously, in 2010 in the Olympics when Crosby scored was that 14 or 10? 14. 10. Vancouver.
Yeah.
And he scored the game-winning goal and whatever. Right? And Ryan Miller was, like, unbelievable that whole play. I don't know how to put this. Is it easier to lose a gold medal game knowing you get a silver medal, like you're in, versus losing a Game 7 in the Stanley Cup final?
Scope of...
I mean, the heartbreak is still...
Yeah, I mean... It's one of those things where that's one of the best games, Olympics that I think have been played, especially when it's U.S. Canada into the gold medal. We had beat them in the prelims, by a couple goals, and they, it's overtime, and I was a fourth line. It was a 4-man fourth line in that whole Olympics with Bobby Ryan, Ryan Callahan, Chris Drury, and myself. And by then we had firmly planted ourselves. I think I was sitting next to Tim Thomas on the bench, best seats in the house for the overtime. But we had the better chances in that overtime already, and it didn't go. But I mean, the letdown from that was like, oh, you're so close to a gold medal. Yeah, you still get a silver medal. And right after that was the last thing in the Olympics. It was like shower up, have a couple beers after the game, and then walk across to the closing ceremonies across at the football stadium in Vancouver. So it was kind of like, let's go celebrate the Olympic movement and kind of the feeling here. I wish this was gold, but it's silver. And
still pretty cool though, man.
that was the first loss we had in the Olympics was the gold medal game, and it was in overtime. It's like, we should be playing a best of 7 here to really see who's the better team. That being said, going through the NHL playoffs and best of 7s and the investment and the sacrifice is much greater than it is for an Olympics. The stage of the Olympics is worldwide and bigger, but the Stanley Cup Finals is, by the time you're there, it's like, I'm so invested in this, and you've had so many guys like give everything they've got and, you know, man down from this injury or whatever else throughout the playoffs. So that, I think, hurt a lot more than losing the gold medal game, just from the investment and the, you know what, I had 15 cracks at trying to win a Stanley Cup in my career. I made it to the finals once. I made it to the Western Conference Finals one other time. And other than that, you know, you don't know if you're going to get a sniff ever in your career. How many great careers never even got to play in a Stanley Cup final?
A lot of them.
So being butthurt for a while, my wife is so good at this, of giving me perspective in those moments where I'm like pitying myself and like, so like, oh, but that was my and she's like, you know, smarten up. You got to play in a Stanley Cup final. How many people would die for the opportunity to play in one NHL game? Like, or you just played in a gold medal game in the Olympics and like putting things in perspective. I'm like,
look at the pictures on the wall.
Yeah, dang it. I hate when you're right, but like, it's so true. And so I've chosen to look at all those scenarios of like the blessing that it's been and presented to me, rather than like,
there it is.
I didn't get that.
No, that's a great perspective.
You know, and so that brings me, you know what? Hey, that's great.
Did you battle with Crosby a lot?
Yeah.
On the ice?
I mean, that was my match when we were playing Pittsburgh, and I don't think he scored I think we were the last team for him to score against. And it might have been my last year in St. Louis. And I think it was like we missed the change and he got out. Not that it was completely me, because shutting him down is not a man-on-man. Like, you know, Ocean Steiner and I together against them. Like, we just played a harder-nosed hockey game that he didn't like to play.
That's a good line. That's a great line. There.
So, but a tough matchup.
I don't know. I mean, McClement and Stempniak, you, Oshie, and Steiner. I mean, those are. I mean, you play with some, you know, but Oshie and Steiner, man. When you guys were all three playing together, man,
and great compliments of where
hard to play against.
I was a center, but you know what? Steiner was probably the smartest guy on the line as far as hockey sense, and Osh with his, you know, he had kind of that all around game and his playmaking ability, and then I was hopefully keeping somebody on their heels or on their, you know, making sure that they didn't get too comfortable, and it seemed to work really well, especially when we could match up against the other team's top players where they didn't want to play that down and dirty game.
Hit.
Yeah, and then we could shut him down and produce some offense. Hitch would be giggling on the bench thinking about his matchup.
Were you on the listen, right after you got called up for the first time, didn't you guys go to Minnesota? And your wife had engagement pictures planned in the lobby.
Don't. Hey.
And the whole team. Were you on the team?
Yes.
And the whole team.
Bashed.
So I remember.
Did I get bashed?
Well, I remember going to your house.
I wanted to quit hockey.
I remember. Cute. Well, listen, because I went to your house to do a feature on television, and he had this picture up with like him and Kelly in front of the fireplace, and all these like signatures from.
They weren't
players.
just signatures.
And they were like, I'm like, what's the story here? Like, there's a whole story behind it.
Cute.
Yeah, that's kind of that's a microcosm of my life of that. So the day before I got called up for my first game in Pittsburgh, I got engaged. So we get engaged that night in Chicago. We went up there with a couple friends to, you know, just go spend some time, probably shop.
Weren't you playing, though? Like,
but Doug Lynch and his wife were... Yeah, we had a 3-3 in Peoria.
Got it.
So we went to Chicago just for the night to go have dinner and go shopping. And the next day, I got engaged that night. And the next day, I got called up. And actually, I got the call from Dave Basigio. I saw his name, and I had no points on the weekend. Took a dumb penalty late in the game. And I'm like, shoot, they're sending me to Alaska. I'm like, they're sending me down to the coast.
So Andy called me and said, you're coming up to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that would have been nice for you to give me the heads up.
I remember that picture circulating.
So I saw his name on my phone. I'm like, shoot, I'm going to Alaska, honey. Sorry. You know? And he's like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, well, I'm in Chicago, got engaged last night. He's like, well, congrats, but she's not going to be very happy. And I'm like, no. I'm going to Alaska. I can't go to Alaska. I'm going to go to Minnesota and quit and not go to Alaska. Yeah. He's like, well, she's not going to be very happy because you got to leave her and you're playing your first NHL game tomorrow in Pittsburgh. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's fine. No, she's okay. Yeah,
that's good.
So then you guys went to Minnesota after that or what?
So we got engaged. I playing the game in Pittsburgh. On the plane ride home, Walt's like, "Hey, kid, you wanna live with me in my basement? I got some room and love to have you around." And I'm like, "Well, you want to live in your idol's basement?" Like, okay.
Yeah. Matthew and Brady rolling around the house
in their underwear, in their underwear, crying when I beat them in floor hockey, and now they're running the NHL.
I know.
So then Kelly flew back to Peoria, got my truck, drove it up, and. So whatever, it was a couple months down the road, and we were playing in Minnesota where she was still in college, and she scheduled our engagement photos. And I'm like, fine, after practice, we'll come back. I'll come get you at the hotel. We'll go down to the river, away from the hotel. We'll take pictures. No one will ever know. And if they do, we're taking pictures by the river. Big deal.
Who cares?
I get back to the hotel, and her and the photographer have a little scene set up in the hotel lobby.
Yeah, that's right.
So I had quick gotten my stuff off. And I ran back because I'm like, I'm going to get her out of there before any of the guys even know she's in town. And they've got this thing set up in the hotel lobby. And I'm like, maybe we can. I'm like, Kelly, no. And she's like, no. These are the best photos. We're doing it right here. I'm like, no. And so I sat down to take the photo. And I'm like, maybe we can get this over with before anyone comes down. So we sit down, and I'm like awkward, and I'm like holding her in front of this fireplace, and there's Paul Correa and Eric Brewer. And I'm like,
Big Walt.
Yeah, I'm like Dan Hino and Matt Walker, and I'm like shrinking every time. Like, I don't even think I was smiling by the end of it. I'm like, my God. I am done. Yes, I'm done. So we've finished our photos, and I'm like, what am I in for? They might send me down just for the stupidity that I was caught doing. And we take the rest of the photos. I put money on the board. I think we lost because we weren't very good. And so it didn't cost me anything out of my pocket. I think it's done. She doubles down on it. She sends all the wives the code and the link to see our photos online.
And she didn't really know a lot of the wives yet, did she?
No, I don't know how it came about that she would even do this. So she sends out the code, and I don't even know that she sends out the code, but the guys order this poster size of that picture.
Monster size.
And on the framing or whatever I don't even know what it's called.
Outline, whatever, the border.
All the guys sign it, and they're like, I don't know, there were some good ones of where did I go wrong with you? Or rose are red, violets are blue. I thought, or I don't know.
Yeah. I remember I started reading that on TV, and I was like, okay, we won't read the rest of that one.
So again, we didn't win very much, and I think it was Ray Borelli's 1,000th game that year. So they had got him this nice clock and presented to him at a team meeting, and all of a sudden Rick Wamsley's like, and we got another thing that, you know what, it's new in the league, but, hard worker. And so backs, come on up. And I'm like, what the heck is this? And so he turns this thing around, and it's Kelly and I in front of the fireplace. And all the guys had signed it, and I was mortified. And so I got home like, how do they even get this picture? And she's like, oh, I sent the link out. And I'm like, oh my God.
At least you hung it up in your house, though.
Oh yeah, now it's like a treasure.
Well, every time we went to Minnesota, when you get your keys, they'd have a picture of him.
I hang it up in the lobby.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful lobby.
It is.
It's gorgeous.
It's a great lobby.
So beautiful, and you can walk over. Dude, playing in Minnesota is cool.
St. Paul Hotel.
Walk right over. You walk right over to the rink. The rink's nice. Oh, I love.
So that was I tell the young guys that was my dumb moment of my my rookie mistake was taking those photos. I should have put my foot down then, and I still haven't to this day. So
if that's your rookie mistake, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I did.
Last thing from me, but your career. I mean, how does it work out like that? Right, it finishes here in St. Louis. You sign your one-day contract with the Blues, so you end your career like that. Even though maybe the last couple of years were a little bit tough, the way that it ended, it's kind of a cool story, though, right?
Yeah, and I had, like I said, it's a little bit better perspective getting a couple new leases on my career of like, I'm going to appreciate the good, the bad, the good times when things suck, try to give other guys perspective and keep them off the roller coaster that's so easy to get on in a league. And so I think that last game that I was able to play here where, the Blues did a tribute video and wished me well, and fans were awesome. My parents were here. My, wife and kids had a little video, and Panger's interviewing me, and I Getzlaf really went to bat for me to get into that game.
Really?
And
he had to do that?
Yeah, he actually went to the GM and he said, I don't care if I need to fake an injury in warm-ups. Bax is playing in St. Louis.
Oh, wow. Wouldn't they be like, yeah, no, of course.
Good.
So
we're not.
Well,
I
think it's
you guys aren't a playoff team at that point.
Right, but their focus was on their rebuild and the youth and Getzlaf's old school, but he gets
Be a good person.
Be a good person.
So
Bob Murray should have gotten fired for that if he didn't put you in.
Well,
okay?
that night. Well, there you go, right there.
I mean, come on now,
There
Bob.
you go.
So that whole moment doesn't happen without Getzy,
we love Getzey.
going in and doing that. So props to him. But yeah, that whole thing to happen. And then we went to Mini after that, and I was kind of like emotionally spent after that game in St. Louis. And they never asked, but I was like, I was good with just, okay.
Yeah, because Big Walt did that in the end of his career. He played his last game here in St. Louis.
Right.
And you guys went to Nashville, and he didn't play
even
in
go
that
on the
game.
trip. Yeah.
Oh,
he didn't even go on the
Well,
trip.
he just got his teeth knocked out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
His hip was still sore from bone grafts.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he was a
Crazy
Oh, he was
stuff.
a mess.
Crazy stuff always happened to you when you with you and your wife though, because you got your offer sheet like on your honeymoon.
Yeah.
in Hawaii.
She takes credit for all that, so I appreciate
it's
you
like-
pumping her tires
It's
a little
so
bit more.
funny, like you get the engagement thing. I mean, and then
She's
you
a part
get
of
called
everything.
up. You're at the hotel with the wife.
She's the agent.
But he's in Hawaii on his honeymoon, and all of a sudden, like he's getting like an offer sheet from Vancouver. You could have gone to Vancouver. You never know. How
Could have been a totally different road.
It would have been. It would have been.
That's a good story too. But
What the engagement?
no, the offer sheet.
the offer sheet.
And we're in.
3 years, 2.5 million.
Well, we're in Hawaii.
I remember Jamal Mayers calling me. That's a lot of money.
But the Blues hadn't offered.
Jammer.
Blues hadn't offered me a contract yet, and I was at RFA and had a all right. I mean, I was a younger guy making my way, had all right numbers, and I was like, if I can get $1 million on a one-way deal,
Wait, you play like 1 year though?
2
years.
Well,
okay.
1.5. Christmas
Yeah, but
on.
he made a
and
big splash. And
Oh, yeah.
the coaches loved him.
I don't know how much more time we have, but after that first year, I played like 49 games. I bought a house in St. Louis. Looking back on that, what a cocky move! Like I
did
didn't
the
know
same
any
thing,
better.
too. I know.
I didn't know any
I
better.
lost a shit ton of money on it too.
I was
I
like,
know.
what was looking back? Like the older guy should have beat the piss out of me
We
because
used- yeah.
I bought a $300,000 house in St. Charles after playing 49 games on a 2-way contract. So anyway,
Well, no, they should have. You bought a house in St. Charles? That's where you bought your house?
Yeah, you only had
Entry level
two-way
country.
contract. Oh, that was fucking dumb.
yeah, real dumb.
Oh wow.
2-way, like I could have been in
would-
Peoria all year
Wow.
with a house in St.
You would
Louis.
have been, yeah, dude. You'd have been
Not
in
making
debt.
payments on it because I'd have made $50,000 when I was
You'd have
down.
been in debt right off the bat, dude.
Yeah, I would have been
Damn.
selling that in 08 in the top of the market,
Yeah.
bottom.
Oh my God. Bottom of, that's what I got.
So you're in Hawaii. And,
So we're in Hawaii,
Yeah.
and we did our honeymoon for like 10 days in Hawaii, and it's June 30th, and agent called, hey, keep your phone on. You never know what can happen on free agency day. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And I'm a RFA, not a UFA. And whatever Hawaii time, 9 a.m., we get a call, and it's waiting. He says, hey, Vancouver wants to give you an offer sheet. I'm like, well, I haven't had any offers from St. Louis. $1 million one way probably would have got me signed again. And they want you 3 years, 7.5 with signing bonus. And I'm like, what? Like, I have to sign this.
Wow. You hit
And
the
so-
lottery.
Yeah. And so we sign it, and Kelly's like, sad. She's like, I don't want to go to Canada. And I'm like, well, honey, it's Vancouver. We'll look it up, and it's like most livable city in
Vancouver's beautiful.
North America, and like all this living, and like how, whatever. And so she's like, all right, Vancouver's going to be nice. And it was like, whatever. St. Louis had 7 days to match. JD or
Larry or something.
Larry called me back like 2.5 hours later, and he's like, you know what, we're going to match. We want you to be
yeah.
part of this team
Right
for
away.
a long time. So she went from like, not Canada, oh, Vancouver's going to be beautiful. Oh, we're not going to. I was getting excited for Vancouver.
know.
Now we're back to St. Louis.
But you
and
guys loved it here.
it was a phenomenal
Loved it
place
in
to
St.
live. Yeah,
Louis.
we're contemplating where our next step
Where
is.
do you want to live next?
You're
You're not going to stay in California, huh?
It's a possibility. Probably between there, Minnesota, and here, and there's pros and cons to each. But every time we come back here, it's just like, man, it feels like we never left, and it's so great. And just we're at the dinner the first night and run into people that we had done animal rescue with, and all the connections. And then I went to the hotel lobby bar, and Jamie Rivers was out there. So it's like all the people you see and just run into, and people that, you make so many connections while you're here that it's just a great place to be.
Well, how much, I know, last thing, how much did you talk to Petro before he left? Did he pick your brain?
He did. I think his concerns were similar to mine. Like he had left home at 16 and lived all over the place. And so while we both loved here, it was like a new start. We've done it before. To pick up his wife and 4 children and move them anywhere outside of St. Louis where she had never left. Now you're, whether the hockey's great or not, if your wife's not happy at home or uncomfortable or not settled, it's a weight. So
the old ball and chain.
Yeah. I think it was more of those conversations of like, what was it like, relocating, new organization, all that stuff. And I was candid with him, and you know what? I think he had similar experiences than I think from the start. It's like, are we going to hug this out? And you know what? If it takes us a case of beer and 8 hours in a room just shooting the bull and reminiscing, and we come to agreement, let's just do that, or else, let's just go our separate ways. So, yeah.
Vegas isn't bad. He's got like a 15-car garage or whatever he's got going.
He's already moved once in Vegas.
Did. I know.
Oh,
I think he sold his house to Patch Your Ready or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
he's all right. He's doing fine.
He's a real estate mogul too.
So for people who don't know, you're in town. You're getting like a big time award here in St. Louis tonight. They have the Jack Buck Awards every year, so congrats on that.
Thank you. So, quite an honor. It made me feel a little bit old, like right off the bat of being retired. And like, we want to give you the Bobby Plager Blues Legend Award, you and Gary Unger. And I'm like, Gary Unger.
Gary Unger looks like he's 30, though.
I know. That's I'm going to use that joke tonight. I'm going to be like, Gary Unger's going to be 74 tomorrow, and he looks younger than I do. Yeah.
But I think, and we're going to try to make it tonight. I don't know if we can or not, but I think Torrey Holt is also getting
Isaac Bruce.
But
they played together.
Just went into the Hall of Fame. Isaac Bruce.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
You deserve it, dude. Look what you.
I know.
You did.
Have you met Isaac before? You know Isaac.
I don't think I've met him.
No.
Great guy.
I got his jersey at home though.
Yeah,
I think I won it at a charity auction.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Enjoy it, man.
Hey, listen, congrats, and take your time, and then decide what you want to do.
Yeah.
And
somebody's going to want to. Hey, you come on this show, you get hired. It's very bizarre.
Is that how it happens?
It does happen to Bruce Boudreaux now.
I haven't got hired for anything, and I'm on it. Max, you look good, man.
Yeah,
and it's good seeing you, dude.
Good to see you guys too.
Congrats on a great career, man. I mean that. Like you're incredible to deal with, and an unbelievable player too, man. So,
and I got 2 puppies.
People
by the
need
way,
to know
that
that.
Can I tell Cam Jantz's story before we say goodbye?
Yeah.
Remember the rookie party? We had Kinger, Jantz. I think we had BJ Crombie, Matt
yelled
Walker.
at you?
Yeah, you know,
we were having a few libations, and then these 2 clowns, him and Kinger, wanted to do punch for punch in the face before we got on the bus.
Oh
I know,
God.
in front of classy people too.
Yeah,
it was very.
Did you hit him first?
No, we both kind of hit each other. Then he started. I cut him open.
He was leaking.
The first time ever. Like he doesn't get cut open.
And he's got the biggest hands I've ever. Well, you got huge hands too, actually. But he's got.
But these are soft.
We were Bax was. This is before Bax was like the lead. So Bax was kind of egging us on a little bit.
No.
Then Jax had to bring us back and sit us both down like we're children.
After they both have been punched in the face by each other.
I know.
And
Jantz
who does that?
So these guys are all revved up. Jantz gets revved up. They hit each other, and Jantz is getting on the bus going, "That's what you get for having 2 idiots. That's what you get for having 2 idiots." And I'm like, I guess so. This league is like, I don't know.
This is a cool league.
I guess I'm glad we have the idiots.
Yeah. Well, you had a couple bad boys there. Kinger was tougher than dog shit. He was so damn tough. We had a fun time. We went to Napa and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good time, man.
It was. So thanks for all you did, protecting me and giving me some space and never hitting me the way you hit Brad Winchester.
Oh, why are you bringing it back? But it pops up on Twitter here.
I think Brad hit him.
Brad hit me. He hit me in both.
Oh, I don't know though. Actually,
first time I ever got knocked out.
Debatable.
Who'd you hit coming up the wall? That was like they cycled the puck at the goal line. They made it to the top of the circle.
Other team,
Carey Price,
Matt Bradley.
Oh, you hit him so hard.
I know. I got
And then
5 games on
Washington.
Yeah. I'm sorry you got suspended because that's
me
expensive.
Somebody tried to. Well, it goes to a good spot.
Yeah.
So all that money goes to a good spot. So it's like
We both contributed. Yeah.
I appreciate it. But who tried to fight me up in the press box after that?
Oh, it
Which
was
is number 25.
No, from Columbia. Chimera.
Jason
Jason Chimera.
Tried to fight me, and Erskine was up there.
When you were in the press box after you got ejected.
He tried to literally fight me, and if he listens, he'll know. And then I went down there and I talked to him and
apologized.
What do I do? I mean, I fucked that up.
Oh, you hit him so hard, and you got back to the bench. You're like, what was wrong with that? What was wrong with that?
I'm
like,
I piss pumped a kid too.
Yeah, because he came to confront.
Know.
Yeah,
it's horrible. Okay,
it was one of those moments where you were probably like, "What I just do?" All the boys were like, "That was badass," but like,
nah, he's gone.
Yeah,
if you were still playing right now.
Oh, he'd have somebody.
Would you go to China for the Olympics?
100%. I was thinking about maybe I can go to China still.
Mm-hmm. Play for China?
NHL doesn't go.
Oh,
maybe I can
like the
my
scabs.
way on there. Yeah, but piece it together. Maybe I'm one of the better players.
You might get stuck there for
3 years.
So you would go. Like your advice to all these guys would be go.
Play an Olympics, go. Okay. But the NHL's got to figure out a way to ex-nay this. If you test positive for COVID, you got to stay there for 3 weeks.
Yeah,
that's horrifying.
They almost need to have I don't know what it costs.
A
safe plane. Yep.
A private jet that leaves every 5 days with COVID positive guys and get them out of there.
Because trust me, some of the wives and stuff are probably like, we want you to get it in there.
But it's like government.
Just like Russia for 2014. It was like some weren't going to go because it was dangerous.
Yeah. But now it's like, there's a lot of shit.
But it's like government supervised quarantine.
Yeah.
In China.
In the
So
gulag.
imagine that.
It's not like you're just hanging out at
You're
home.
not hanging in Switzerland looking over the Alps.
They're not bringing you pizzas either. They're bringing you.
No, it's just like Australia right now. You see what's going on there too?
Oh my God.
Same damn thing. It's very bizarre.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Cam, you do not know what's going on in Australia. You have no idea.
Yeah, Andy, you might know the 06 draft picks, but I didn't know what's going on in current events, dummy.
03.
Jesus Christ.
Maybe the greatest draft class ever. I remember when you got drafted.
Do you?
Yeah.
My sweet
He remembers
hair.
everything.
You want to
about
know
you.
why? Because I was there in Nashville.
It's the first time you got a press
loves you.
pass. It's the first time you got a press pass.
No, I was there
He's
in
like,
Nashville.
on the ice.
And that was
who's this handsome
that was
bugger?
the day Mike Danton got traded to the Blues.
Yeah.
And John Ferguson became GM of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I was just like,
So who was traded to get the pick? Who the Blues traded to get the pick from Carolina?
oh, man.
It was just
Carolina.
just
You mean
the rights.
Jersey?
No. Carolina.
Oh, to get you.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Hold
Dump
on.
you.
Who was it?
Future Stanley Cup winner.
For Carolina?
Yep.
Oh, Dougie Wade?
Corey Stillman.
Oh, Corey
Stillman.
Stillman.
Great
You're
player.
right. His son's in the NHL. Oh, no, he
No,
got
that's
drafted.
Sillinger.
No, Sillinger. But
Yeah.
Stillman's
Sillinger's dominated.
son got drafted.
Corey
high, I
Stillman,
believe.
good player.
Yeah,
He
really
was in
good
the
player.
dog days of the Blues when he
Yeah.
played, right?
No,
that was
they
late
were
90s.
good, man.
Never mind, that was- never
Early
mind.
2000s.
That's early 2000. My bad. He didn't go through
They were
that.
damn
Yeah,
good.
that's right.
McInnes and Pronger and all those
What do you
guys,
know?
man.
You didn't answer that fucking question.
I didn't know that.
So remember that.
But I
Otherwise, we can't be
I
friends.
do remember being at that draft. Marc-Andre Fleury drafted first over. I mean, Getzlaf was in that draft. There was like
lot of
they say
dyed
it's like
blonde
the greatest.
hair.
Yeah.
Dyed
A
blonde
lot
hair.
of tips, frosted
Lot of
tips were going on.
frosted tips, yeah.
I
Should
wish
have
I
been
would
a
have saved
first
some of
rounder.
that hair.
He should have been a first
Should
rounder.
have been a first rounder.
Oh. Sean Bell.
Whatever.
Sean Bell was drafted in the first round. I'll never forget. Larry Plow told me he reminds him of Rob Blake, and he was he played
Blake.
for Canada in the World Juniors. You didn't play in the World Juniors, did you?
No.
Did you go to the camp?
Yep. They took it was the head coach of Eves was the
the
coach. Yeah. No, he took one of his guys from Wisconsin as like the fourth line center, Jake Dowell, instead of me.
Jake Dowell.
But they won the gold.
Oh, they did.
So
Yeah,
I
what
can't.
do you do?
Yeah.
I should have went.
They made the right thing.
No, that was like Patrick O'Sullivan and all those guys. I think.
Yeah, that's right. We had that weird goal.
Yeah.
We had.
Oh
that
yeah,
one,
Marc
too.
Andre Fleury hit it
Shut
right
in
in.
his defenseman.
Yeah,
butt.
that's a good man. I had tried to make up for not knowing who was.
Yeah, well, you did.
But Sean
traded
Bell
to
came to
Carolina.
Blues like pre-camp, I guess,
did.
and in the test was with Nelson was like
Oh.
squat your body weight as many times as you can, and he squatted his body weight like
100
38
times.
times, and they're like, this guy is the guy.
This guy's Rob
Your
Blake.
body weight 38 times.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a lot. Then I guess.
yeah. I mean,
How many times could you do?
Well,
it?
I'm thinking. I thought you just meant your body weight, but no,
No.
the weight of your body
on the bar.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I'm like 38 times. Like, oh yeah, that's
he
hardcore.
could skate though. I remember he could.
Yeah,
skate.
he could move.
220, 38 times. That's gonna wear you out.
Yeah,
Yeah. When's the last
For
time
me, it's like 110 right now.
You are.
When's the last time you were on skates?
Last game here, and then my brother-in-law plays in a beer league, and I went and did that once this summer.
Did you score a goal in the beer league game?
I did.
Did you?
I mean, Andy.
Well, I just want to make sure you try.
Shoots from the red line.
You never know. Like, listen, honestly, you see some
This
guys
is a D league.
who are like great NHL players. All
Well,
of a sudden
Holly, I mean, you're thinking of like Brett Hall.
I do have an alumni game, college alumni game for Hockey Day Minnesota in January that I might have to ramp back up for.
You're going to
really?
start skating, dude, I think. You're going to get into
Well,
it.
Kelly's going to want me to because she says my rear end has disappeared. So my jeans are baggy. It's
I
like
look like a Jersey guy, man.
Yeah.
where are you spending Christmas? Like, are you going back to Minnesota?
yeah.
So
I'm making the drive. Can you imagine? Because we got an old dog and we don't want to board him. So I'm going to drive
We didn't
28
even talk
hours
about
with
that.
this
Listen,
dog.
you got to pump up your charity real quick
Yes,
before we.
please.
I can't believe I didn't have you do it. The Athletes for Animals still going
I actually
strong.
rescue
Yeah.
dogs.
And
on
you
my
guys
game.
I
have
appreciate that. Yeah,
you guys
buys a purse dog.
have a bunch of
And a kitty cat.
like people can buy like autograph items and stuff like that.
We're
right?
doing like a jolly jersey raffle type of thing. So we've had Petro and Getzlaff, and we've got a couple football guys coming up, Bergeron coming up, of auctioning off jerseys, signed jerseys for all the proceeds go to help animals, and if not, just donate at athletesforanimals.org, and we'll make sure all the money goes to good causes. So yeah, still doing that, still teaming up with guys around and trying to fight the good fight so animals have better lives.
He brought them back from Russia.
Although he
remember?
did save cattle, and I'm like,
No.
cattle. Like, can we just put that?
Cattle, the
cattle
sick
make
St.
me
Louis
hungry.
sick.
It makes me hungry.
Oh,
looking
when
at
they
it.
disappear
I'm just saying.
from the slaughterhouse due to absolute fear, and now they're in a sanctuary. You could go see them.
I wrangled
you
cattle.
hug
No.
them. You hug
I'm a
them.
cowboy now. I
Okay.
wrangled cattle the other day.
That doesn't make you a cowboy.
There are some. You're right. Makes me a rodeo clown.
Yes.
But when I look at cattle, I just look at them a little differently than I do a cute little puppy dog that's going to snuggle with you, that brings you unconditional
Gentle
love.
barn, and go snuggle one.
Well, but you slaughter them, that's still, you're eating that.
You're
eating it. I ain't eating no dog.
Hey, how many dogs did you bring home?
Just two.
Shaddy
That's all we
had
could
one,
get.
and Oshie had
Shaddy's parents got one,
Oh.
and then
Did they- I can't
Derek Stepan adopted.
They
them.
let you do that? Just bring it.
Oh, they didn't let anything. Kelly and a bunch of the other wives had to
smuggle a dog
get
home?
pet passports and
Yeah.
Oh, my
It's
God.
a pain in the
That
ass.
is
the
a lot of work.
USDA. We had them at 5 Acres Animal Shelter doing their quarantine, and they stopped there like 3 times to check to make sure they were quarantined appropriately.
That's scary flying with dogs. Like, they put sometimes.
Well, no, ours were on they were on by our feet on a charter to Newark, and then they were on a charter from Newark into St. Louis. These dogs,
They're living at it.
they went from
They're
streets of
drinking
Russia
champagne.
to Champagne flight.
Yes.
So
We got to let
the
them
best,
hey,
man.
oh,
We gotta let
to the one-eyed cat
Oh
disappeared.
my God! No, I remembered. And you
died?
also had a cat.
Well, he
with-
disappeared last night. We were in California before he moved back to Minnesota. He goes out in and out. We think a coyote got him.
on the beach there, or like by the. They got
Well,
coyotes
they come up like the back bay,
you're
and
right.
they run
You
the
had
streets.
that cat
so
forever.
15 years.
And they also had a cat with like. Didn't you have a cat with a bunch of
7 paws.
Seven.
yeah.
I've had one too.
We had to put him down last year too. So
Yeah.
we're catless at the moment.
You got to get,
I don't
get that
listen,
snuggle
I'm,
money.
Yeah.
I'm allergic to
Lord.
cats.
Yeah, that's your
That's
excuse.
cool.
I don't know
Andy,
about
that's
these
cool.
cats.
Yeah,
Like Boo.
They bring me so much joy. This little
I
baby.
love that.
She sits right next to me. And I get my notes down like David Backus today.
We got
David
it.
Anthony Backus. She's
Cats up by your
Can I tell?
ears.
Hey, real quick,
Rubbing a-
short story.
Oh God, Andy,
Keep
he's
it
gotta
coming.
go.
No, I don't have anything to
No,
do.
true story. It's Blues game day. And my dog, Sierra, she was a white German Shepherd. She was unbelievable, man, like my baby. I had her since she was just, 6 weeks old. And she got like a little senile as she got older. She never needed a leash her entire life. She could walk with me on a highway and just like stop when I stop. It was like the craziest thing.
Go ahead.
Well, we didn't walk on the highway, but still, whatever. I would just let her out. She wouldn't go anywhere, like she just never. All of a sudden, one day she disappeared, and my whole house is all upset. It's game day. I'm like, what do I do? So I called David. I'm like, he would know what to do. He's like the dog whisperer, and he's like all into it. He's like, oh, get me some pictures. Kelly's going to email you. They put out like an Amber Alert for the dog, like a dog Amber Alert. And we found the dog like the next day.
See,
And he was playing that night.
And he played that night.
That's a joke on your part.
Don't you
Control
think?
your
He
He
fucking
didn't
dog.
have to get back to me.
He got
right away.
And we probably lost the game.
I didn't pregame nap. I was -2, but we saved that dog.
He probably scored 4 goals that night.
He ran somebody from behind. I got my ass kicked afterwards.
He probably scored 4 goals that night. And we found the dog.
I mean, come on.
I didn't even know they had an Amber Alert for dogs.
There's children going missing and stuff, like a real Amber Alert, and they're trying to
probably
find
went
your
off
dog.
on your phone. A picture of my dog.
Oh, God, this poor little girl. Oh, it's a dog.
While the old lady was
Senile
sweating
dog.
because
Oh
my
my
air
God.
conditioner
Yeah,
got
exactly.
fixed. It
It's all
all
one
works
big
out.
circle.
I know, man.
Bad circle.
So,
Oh,
all right,
man.
great stuff.
You're the
Hey,
best,
happy
dude.
holidays.
Yeah.
Happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas.
How old are the kids?
6 and 4.
Is he going to play hockey?
He's a wrecking ball, so
Is he?
he might.
Oh,
Okay,
he's
well,
crushing cats, dude.
Probably.
He's gonna, dude.
He
He's gonna
is.
look good. He's gonna look good.
I brought him out there once. He was terrified.
Well,
I just
really?
like held, hooked his arms and put skates on him, and he was a little scared.
there's
but
nothing
He'll get it.
harder
He'll
and
get it.
more
He'll get it.
stressful in life than teaching your kid how to ice skate.
Oh,
It's
stopping
not
and
like
stuff.
your body, the human body is not programmed to like.
Well, you want it so
skate
bad too.
on ice.
You want the kid to
Yes.
do it so
and you
bad.
want it to be fun, and it's like
You want it more for
Yeah.
you than him. I
but,
think.
but once they get going,
if he
it's-
wants to do it, he'll do it.
it's incredible. It's fun.
Probably gonna be a scientist.
Oh, he's
or
probably going to be like 6'6".
Probably gonna be. He might be in a. Who knows what he's gonna do? He might just be really.
He's
smart.
actually really into like building stuff.
I'm sure
Oh.
he is.
I give him my-
skyscrapers
I give him
probably
my-
already.
architect.
my
It's
D-wall
like George
drill,
Costanza.
and he'll screw screws into a board and put the drill in.
I can't even do
Listen.
that.
Oh, it's awesome.
geez,
We didn't even
Louise.
talk about we'll get into it next time. There's a whole
Next time,
next time.
you guys gonna fly me into doing
This
a
guy,
podcast?
no, he
Well,
and
if you're
Kelly, they
bored.
went to like Africa and like hooked up people with like hearing aids and shit. This guy does.
See, that's too much.
He
See,
does
that's
amazing
unbelievable stuff.
things
Kyle
for
McClellan wants me to
people.
go down to
Haiti, you go with
Haiti.
them. You will be a
Well,
changed man when you
20
come back.
people just got abducted.
Yeah, but not you.
They
Who's
will-
going to try to abduct you?
I don't. Well, that's a great.
Well,
Say, man, we'll take the rest of
It'll
them.
happen.
We'll take the rest of them.
Actually,
Leave that
leave
way.
this
Hey,
mutant here.
hey, listen, we got a business.
I'm just saying.
He's not going to Haiti
I
right
can't
now.
go.
Okay?
I can't go. I'll do stuff here. I'll adopt little puppy dogs.
Go to the inner. They do stuff in the inner city here.
Okay, we'll do that.
I could do that. I've been down there.
Yeah.
I've been down. I haven't gone to St. Louis in a while either. I live way out in the Fantasyville now, David Backus.
Next
way.
to your parents, where you?
No, I moved.
No,
You
he
did.
lived-
St.
his-
Albans
His
now.
parents were next door, and then his aunt was next door
Yeah,
to
I
his
know.
parents.
and,
like
and there was a worn out path from the foot
yeah.
traffic.
I see.
there.
He knows.
Oh yeah,
It
I'm
was cute.
I'm like, it's time for Big
I
Boy
didn't- I
Cam.
didn't- I know
Big
what
Boy
it is
Cam
now.
has to go live on his. Now he lives on a golf course.
I'm on a golf course with a bunch of fancy lads.
You got any kids yet?
No, I got dogs and a kitty.
Okay,
Kate and I.
that's a good
well, she-
practice.
Well, she might be pregnant. I mean, I'm not.
Well, you would
I'm
know.
Not, I'm not being safe about it. You know, I mean, it's what it is. Like it's in her. So, what I'm just saying.
Oh man, can we just
I'm just-
edit that
Oh,
out?
yeah.
Whatever. I'm not. You know.
It's
so
in her.
whatever happens,
Okay,
happens.
all right.
Dude, I might be fucked up. Like I don't know. I might not be able. I'm serious.
Well, you never know because you've been saying this for several years now.
Even
So
throughout my early times,
I know,
never.
I know.
I might be.
did
What's
you
it
ever
called?
like?
For
Sterile.
Do you ever
fertile.
have any issues with like, or do you have an opinion on like opioids and all that, like the pain pills and all that?
Oh God,
They work.
they work, and they're hardcore.
They're hardcore.
I mean,
Well, a lot of
Very
guys have
straight
come
up.
on and talked about like getting addicted to them and stuff like that.
I mean, I've had them pretty readily available to me, but I'm
No, see, David's
I'm
like,
ant-
he's like
I
the
spent
smart one.
$500,000 on them, and I almost died twice. So yeah, that screwed me up hardcore.
and
Hardcore.
I have intestinal issues. I had a colon resection.
Yeah.
So part of the downside of opioids is that they constipate you, and so anything that constipates me or blocks me up,
Can't do.
You
I
can't
can't
do
even
it.
start doing it, or it gives me
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've taken them on frequent occasion for necessary pains. Just
It didn't hit you the right. Did it hit you like? Did you happy, or did it just cut the pain?
cut the pain and kind of made me like sleepy happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just kind of slump into.
You're just in a comatose.
Laughing gas.
Comatose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Without laughing.
But I'm sympathetic. I mean,
Yeah.
we have drug addiction within our family, and it's a necessary
real thing, yeah.
epidemic in the U.S. And I'm sympathetic to it, and any help or cause that I can help or on those lines.
Yeah.
I'm
Tell guys
certainly-
to keep getting suspended. Fined.
Yeah. Help pay that emergency
Keep doing those
assistance
neon
fund.
knees last night. Like
You
that,
should be
Toronto.
on Team USA's management staff, by the way.
Ryan Miller got
I
it.
know he
Yeah.
did.
We just had old boy on too.
Listen, you got a lot of
David
stuff coming
Quinn.
your way now.
You are gonna be a busy man.
after doing this, you got a lot of things
You're gonna
happening.
be a busy man.
Okay.
Enjoy yourself.
I appreciate
now.
the resume boost.
I'm
yeah.
just saying, enjoy yourself.
Like
now.
tonight, Because tomorrow it's going to come in?
It's calm.
Okay.
Well, it depends when we
And you'll be hiring us to work for you as well. Yeah. Okay? When you're running.
See, this one it's always like a hook to everything. I'm just trying to be a nice guy.
I know. Hey, come on the show. I got a gift card for you. And it's like,
I used to give him watches.
Spend $600, get $50 off.
I used to give him watches. Listen, everybody hooked up limousines, watch. I always gave my guest.
Yeah.
Now, do you need a suit? Because I got a suit guy right now. I got a couple guys going to see.
Yeah, because mine are all baggy.
Oh, dude, he'll hook you.
Wait till you see what I'm wearing tonight.
We'll talk about that.
Oh, you haven't got a new suit in a while?
No, I got a bunch last year, and now I don't.
Oh, you're skinny.
I changed
you have no
sizes
ass anymore. Yeah.
So that's why I need to get back on the ice so my suits fit.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to cost me a lot of money to buy new suits.
What's it like being unemployed?
Jesus, Andy.
He has no job.
Why would he?
This is the first month I have to pay for my own health insurance. It always comes out of like whatever the escrow, but now I have to like write a check to health insurance.
It is not
Welcome
cheap.
to the real world.
Real world is, there's things that happen in the real world.
Yes.
I know.
So, yeah, I'm feeling like
a
normal human again. And part of me retiring, I feel like I'm young again because when you're old in the NHL, 35 or older, people are telling you you're old all the time. Now people think I'm young again. That's Derek Jeter, I think, said that when he retired, and it's a nice feeling.
Yeah, it is.
Until I get an award alongside Gary Unger, legends.
Who looks younger.
Who looks younger than me.
Yeah.
That's going to be depressing.
I know.
All right, man.
You're the man, dude.
Hey, happy holidays.
Yeah,
Thanks for your
Merry
time,
Christmas.
man. Yeah, good to see you both.
All right.
Hey, what's up, everybody? That interview was brought to you by Daredevil Hockey and daredevilhockey.com. Use that promo code today, Cam and Strick. It's going to save you 25%. All caps, Cam and Strick, Daredevil Hockey. Get yourself protected today. All right, that was David Backus here on the Cam and Strick Podcast, episode number 164, man. What a great dude, man. I'm so glad he came in here.
So good to
and
us,
you know
man.
what? We could have had Backus. We could have had Backus on before.
I know.
And
no, we didn't live, dude.
But the fact that he was in town, he was getting an award. I was like, dude, you got to sit down with us, man. And let's do this live. I don't want to do it over the phone.
He's so cool. Like he comes in like, look, we again, when you do so many of these, you know how to evaluate somebody who just like brings the real. Like if you're really talking to him in a setting where no one's at, he's going to say the same damn thing, and that's exactly what he did. And he said some things, remembering things with me, and I don't know, it makes me feel good.
You didn't even know
I'm a
you
nerdy.
didn't even know you were on the team. Dude.
I know.
You're like, what? I don't remember that. I remember it.
Andy, I'm bad, dude. I got problems, man. I don't. My memory.
Are you sure everything's okay? I mean,
no, I'm not sure. I told you.
Well,
that.
you tell me your head is good and everything's.
Well,
fine.
I don't know. But but when you bring it up, I'm like, oh yeah, I do remember it. But you have to bring it up. It's not,
how was he in the
problems.
room as a leader?
Great. He was great, dude. He was great. He was great when he wasn't a leader. I knew he was going to be something. Not to say that, but like he just had a confidence about him when he walked into places. I remember one time, maybe after 08 season, where he just came about and everybody's getting their like backs, like he's handsome, like just looked real. His hair was awesome. And I was hanging, I lived two different lives. I had all my buddies from my high school and stuff and girls and all that stuff hanging out.
Cut the cord with that.
Shut up.
Okay.
At 2008, like I want to show off to all them. Of course, that's what you do when you make the NHL.
I know that.
No, you do.
Well, no,
so
you
when we partied after at the end of the year, I remember I brought all these people out, girls that I thought were, just to show off to the guys or whatever. Yeah. Bax was there. He sat there with a cigar in his hand, smoking cigar, and they all wanted to talk to him so bad. Didn't give a shit about anybody else.
He was the big thing in town, man, for a long time.
He played it, and I'm watching him, and I'm like, he played it so fucking cool. He knew he probably had a girl at the time. He was so, and I'm like, this motherfucker's got it. Smoking a cigar, just kind of kicking it up, and all my girlfriends were trying to talk. He's just so goddamn handsome. Like, how can you not? And he just played it so cool.
Well, he does great charity work, dude. He's had some great charity events over the years as well that I've been to.
Of course.
His wife is so cool, so down to earth. Like, I mean, he's making, $4.5 million at one point, and like she goes and gets a part-time job at Lululemon because they're just normal people.
Yeah.
Dude. She wants to hang out with like regular people and like have something to do.
She runs the show too,
and they're like young and whatever. They didn't have kids at the time. Like, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah, you gotta do something, no doubt. And no doubt. And a lot of wives get to that point where they're like, "What do I do?" Like my husband's gone for 2 weeks at a time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have kids, like,
but they truly love the animals. I told the story how they sent out the Amber Alert for my dog that was missing on game day.
Jesus,
and they found my dog.
I'm just saying that's the stupid
what
on
you
your
do.
part, though.
That's
like
what you
made
do.
people like do extra shit just so you get because you're fucking incompetent.
What
You
do you
probably you probably let the dog go roam around
She
on
was
the
like
highway.
senile at the time.
Well,
Dude,
you
she
let
was
the dog
14,
roam.
15.
You're like, go on the highway and get some food or something.
No.
That's what you said to the dog, and they're like, okay.
So
we'll
like
get
you know how like the sound your phone makes when there's like an Amber Alert.
yeah, like a tornado alert
Like
the
her
other night.
picture showed up.
Jesus, Andy,
Yes.
that's
Oh, yeah.
God, you wasted people's time.
No, we found it. What are you talking about?
yeah, I know, but
Wasted
just take care of
time.
it. Why is it leaving? Like, how about you fucking shut your door?
Because she was the type of dog, dude. I never needed a leash or anything like that. Like for anything, she never went anywhere. And then all of a sudden, she just got a little bit older and got a little senile, and she got lost one day.
Well,
dude.
feed her. She's looking for food. You're like eating grass. They don't eat grass. They eat like, like fucking dog food and shit. Just because you don't eat dog food doesn't mean they can't eat dog food. There's fiber in there and shit.
I got a deal. Like
You
Blay,
eat grass all
Blay
fucking
has
day.
an endorsement deal. By
Blay's
the way,
getting skinny. That means you're not fucking
dude,
feeding him.
Blay,
Getting skinny.
he went to the groomer and they shaved his ass again.
Good. Well, it's wintertime. They probably shouldn't.
No,
do that.
because he was like a little matted, like underneath.
Well,
okay.
clean the goddamn thing.
So
Jesus
they
Christ.
couldn't like comb it all out because he's got really thick curly hair. It's like
He's a golden doodle, just
Yeah, I
like
know.
every other
but
neighbor
it's
of
like
yours
very.
has.
So anybody, well, so if anybody knows, if anybody has,
Everybody's got a fucking golden
if
doodle.
anybody has a golden doodle, you guys have probably been through that before. If
like
it gets a
everybody-
little matted, all of a sudden they got to shave the dog.
Well, the people I know that have golden doodles, their hair looks good. Meaning,
Well, just
take care of your
give it a
fucking
few
dog.
weeks.
No,
You
you
just
take
you
care of
just
your
give it a
fucking
few
dog.
weeks.
Poor thing.
I think you got to get it groomed like every like 3-4 weeks or something.
Yeah, you
like
got to
that.
spend money.
Yeah, like
Dogs
3 or
cost
4
money,
weeks.
dude.
You know how much it costs to go get that dog groomed?
I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm
How
just
much
saying,
do you think? You probably don't ever take
$100?
your dogs to get groomed. Ever.
No, my dogs don't need to get groomed.
Oh, really? They don't get baths and stuff like that?
I throw them in a fucking monster shower
you do it
I have,
yourself.
and I just put it in for like an hour.
The
and let
green
them
shower,
sit in
the
there.
green monster?
I let them to sit in the shower, and I go in there and soak them, and I lock them in there. And they're like this, and then, help me, help. And I go in there and come here, you two. And I just clean them up.
Your dogs have not been like, they're
cutest things.
creating problems
They are the
around
cute-
the neighborhood.
Well,
'cause
Willow.
every time I'm talking to you, you're like, get over here. Get over here. Yelling at the
we're
dogs.
at Fancyville, homie. I got expensive.
No.
I'm on Fancyville.
Are you? I
St. Albans?
gotta evaluate it. I gotta get out there. Well, I know the guy.
You see
who's-
my pictures on
I
shit?
know
Like,
the
am
guy
I
who's
faking
selling
that?
the $7 million house. I think that's the
Well,
fancier
$7
part.
million bucks.
Yeah,
Well, no shit.
yeah.
Everything's fancy.
Where is that?
out
Like
there.
up in the bluffs or something?
Yeah, it's actually probably takes a little while to get up there.
Oh, does it?
Looks over the whole valley.
We'll take a side by side up there.
Well,
Okay.
I'll take my buddies up there.
Dude, when I come out there, you better give me like the royal
Well,
treatment.
don't chirp me. You're chirping me because my house is $7 million. I'm like, okay. Well,
No.
I didn't get.
I
addicted
want
to
the
drugs.
royal treatment
Well, okay, I'll take you
when we
anywhere.
get out there.
I'm not gonna like sit there. With
I
you
need
and
a side
talk
by
about
side.
things. I got one, homie.
No, I'll drive it. I'll drive that.
Yeah,
thing.
right. But my point is, like, Willow could sneak out and go into the goddamn fucking.
Well, stop doing that because you're going to need an
And,
Amber
and
Alert.
these
dude.
guys worked their ass off on the club, man, on the greens and shit. And Willow go right to the sand trap just to run. And I have to grab her and I have to like take the thing. Go, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
It's all good. I'm a hillbilly in a way
All right.
still. but
Cam
it's
Strick
all good.
Podcast brought to you by Hair Club, as you
Yeah.
know, always. Over 1,200 locations throughout North America, based out of Florida. And just incredible people. Go to our landing
Boca.
page today. Just check it out, man. Read some stuff. www.hairclub.com/Cam and Strick. And you can get all the information you need there. Sign up for a consultation from our landing page, and you're going to save $250.
PRP,
dude.
anything you want to do, I'm telling you. I'd be balder in a doorknob if I didn't get that done. From the
Stop using that line. What does that even mean? Balder than a what?
a doorknob. If you look at a doorknob,
There's no
it doesn't have
hair
head.
on the doorknob?
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks like a bald head, like Panger. Looks like Panger. Like you're taking Panger and be like, Nyank.
I see.
Panger's a great guy, but his head looks like a doorknob. My hair, the front part doesn't. The back part kind of does a little bit if I shined it up.
Okay.
So I need to get that fixed. Tell old boy down in Boca I'm coming down.
He's
You need me
invited.
to look sexy.
He's invited me several times.
He doesn't want you down there. He wants me down there. Let's be honest here.
So anyway,
I got the cul-de-sac.
800-279-7878. 800-279-7878. All right, CarShield and CarShield.com, 800-857-2481. Give them a call today. Use that promo code CAM. You're going to save 10%. I know it's embarrassing, but just
Why,
go ahead
though?
and do it. It's the holidays. Hey, let's go ahead and save yourself some money. That's why I tell you, if anything goes down in your car, you want to make sure you're protected. You're not spending thousands and thousands of dollars out of your own pockets. So again, CarShield and CarShield.com. 800-857-2481. CarShield and CarShield.com. All right, baby, the BBB. BBB.org. Better Business Bureau, baby. We love these guys,
baby.
man.
What's up?
Natasha and Chris.
Oh, hi. How you doing?
The best people. Why are you so nervous when you say that? Like, just be nice.
Why?
Just be normal. Like,
Hi, how you doing?
Natasha and Chris.
I can't say hi?
You do. Well, you're like, hi.
They're hockey fans.
They're huge hockey fans.
Well, Natasha is.
Well, they're out to help people. I mean,
that's what you do.
Yeah.
I'm not going. Look, if I'm going to a city, I want to go through them and see where I'm staying.
When was the BBB founded?
Over a long time, 100 years ago,
yeah,
probably.
Over 100 years ago.
Get on with yourself.
By ethical businesses seeking voluntary self-regulation without the need for government regulation. Oh, we love these people. Who wants government regulation?
Oh, they know what's best for us, the government.
Consumers turn to the BBB every day, Cam, looking for businesses they can trust. Just in 2021 alone, think about this. Just in 2021, we have over 13 million instances of service for consumers.
Damn. It's a lot, dude.
13 million.
It's a lot.
We need every single one of these 13 million to give us a like on our YouTube channel, man.
Ooh.
I mean, let's go.
100%.
Go to our YouTube channel. Hey, give us a review for 2021. Brody, are you working on the end of the year review, end of the year show? We're going to have our best of 2021 coming up very soon.
Oh, my God.
Clips. Babcock may make that one.
Monster clips coming up, baby. What's up?
All right, when consumers see the BBB accredited business seal, it tells them that this is a business they can trust. So when you see that BBB seal,
I'm like, I'm going to eat there. I'm going to stay there. No bed bugs. I'm going to get a fat ass steak. The wine's going to be good. The service is going to be good. That's what I'm looking for.
Over 9,000 area businesses are BBB accredited businesses. Did you know that in 2020, Cam, BBB received over 215 million consumer inquiries on BBB business profiles?
Yes,
dude, these
I
guys
did know that.
Honestly, it's unbelievable. All right, to apply or join the ranks of other trustworthy businesses, call the BBB today. 314-645-3300. You can go to bbb.org, 314-645-3300. Get to the BBB. Let them make your life easier and do that today. All right, Bellman.com, BEHLMANN.com over there in Troy. They got the Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on the other side of the street, the Buick, the GMC. They want to buy your used car. Get in there and see the incredible salespeople and the incredible people.
It's getting wintertime, baby.
Kenny, Dale, Dan, everybody.
Winter's coming.
It is coming. Is it?
It's coming, baby.
Well, when you have the hot and cold mix, that's when we have that crazy weather.
Don't get me wrong, but I want that fat ass diesel, baby. Yeah. I'm not getting stuck anywhere. I'm going to be the guy that, like, you're going to be with the family. Like, I'm going out to look at things because I'm aloof to the weather. And all of a sudden, the shit kicking storm's coming in. And you're like, help me, Cam. And I'm going to take my shit kicking truck and go save you and the children. Meaning, I'm going to save the wife and the kids and leave your stupid ass in your Volvo.
Well, I'll be safe.
And then talk about it on the radio the next day.
And any car you get from Bellman, you'd be safe too. I can guarantee you that. That's the strict nasty guarantee right there. Okay, also the
strict nasty guarantee.
Daredevil hockey, baby. We'll save you 25% by using that promo code Cam and Strick. All caps. Don't be getting cut.
No.
A lot of holiday tournaments coming up. No skate lacerations.
Those holiday tournaments are fun too.
Oh, they are.
And you know when your kid getting cut? Like, it just ruins everything.
Please.
They score a goal, they're doing good, and all of a sudden they get cut.
Get it now so you can get it in time for Christmas.
100%. Okay. No, I get you on you.
But even if it's not Christmas, like whatever, like just protect your kids.
Yeah.
If you're a men's league hockey player or women's league hockey player, just protect yourself so you're not getting cut. All right, this has been episode number 164. We thank all our sponsors. We love having the BBB with us as well. Hey, give them a shout out. Welcome them to the Cam and Strick team, man. Make them feel comfortable and make them feel welcome, man, just like we are. Hairclub.com, man, brings us the Cam and Strick podcast each and every week. Everybody, hope you enjoyed this edition, number 164, with the one and only David Backus.